Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Can I get an audio check, please? And thank you. Let's see what's going on in chat. Pliggle says first one and is accurate. Stupid Robot Fighting League says, what up, G? Or G, G, I guess. I don't know. Brickworld Therapy, our recently moderated person, says, hi. Boom goes the dynamite. Love to get my channel reviewed, says Pliggle. All right, let's do it. Let's jump right in. Let me just quickly scan to make sure the sound is fine. Stupid Robot Fighting League and Brickworld Therapy say the sound is good. All right, well, let's just dive right in. I just got off of my appearance on the Ace of Vegas podcast, so that was a blast. Although talking about like Vegas and stuff was a little outside of my realm of expertise. I've been to Vegas 6 or 7 times, but I don't fully understand all the business behind it, and so it's kind of nice to be back in my comfort area where I'm a little bit more confident that I know what I'm talking about. Pliggle, that's a pretty cool profile picture there. I like that. Nice kind of animated thing. Makes me think that you're probably gaming. Like 90% chance it's gaming. 10% chance it's like home renos that you would need a mask like that for, like when painting or sanding or something. So it's probably gaming. Let's see here. TubeBuddy browser extension. If you don't have it, download it with the link below. Even the free version gives you most of this information. Equip yourself like I equip myself. So the search volume for this name is low, but the competition is also relatively low, so it comes up with a score of 42 out of 100, which is known as good. And that's fine. And again, with channel names can be SEO important if they are descriptive. For example, my 2 channels, Vacation Impossible, includes the word vacation, so SEO can be important for that. And Small YouTubers Boost, I think it's all right there in the name. But a lot of channel names are people's names or things like that, so it's not always relevant, but I like to check. So I see you have 274 subscribers, so I suspect you'll already have your custom URL. And I see you've got 17 videos. Your description says Modern Warfare gameplay, Pliggle BU Live You, BU Live You. I'm not sure. So yeah, okay. I will definitely give you points for Plith. This is straight and to the point. Modern Warfare gameplay. Cool. So you could expand upon that if you wanted to. I think that wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea, but I mean, maybe you've said most of what you have to say. I don't know. You could pivot to start talking about why you make videos, but it's hard to do that in the space that's available here in the preview. So really it's the BU Live You or BU Live You. BU Live You sounds like it's probably more accurate. Maybe you're talking about people living their truth or just accepting themselves or living their identity as they see fit and define it. I don't know. Seems like a positive message, though. I don't think there's anything negative there, so that's pretty good. You could mention what makes you unique. Modern Warfare is a very popular game, so if there's something that happens to stand out about that in particular, beyond the fact that it's a gameplay, could be mentioned. I don't know. Just a thought. Let's dive in. Good contrast on the profile picture, though. It really pops. No sound. No playing videos with sound. Silly Ray. Okay. So this is interesting. Looking at your banner here, it's got that background color, which, I mean, stylistically, I'm not fond of that sort of pea olive green color, but that's just me. And I mean, I have Modern Warfare. I've played it like twice. So I don't associate that background with that game, but I'm not exactly what you would call necessarily a fan, really. And so you've got that really cool picture again of sort of the pig wearing the gas mask. That's consistent. What is interesting is there's sort of like a copyright on that, which is unusual, I think. If you don't own this image and you got it from somewhere and happened to come along with that copyright, then yikes. If you do own this image and that's you protecting your image, that is interesting. I would, I don't know about that. I'm not an expert in copyright, so maybe I shouldn't speak to it. But stylistically, it's a little unusual. I'll say that. You've got your social links on the right-hand side of the banner, which is good there. You've got your Facebook, which I'm hoping is a page and not your personal thing. No, looks like there we go. That is fine. Cool. Looks like you got that set up well. You've got your Instagram. Let's take a quick look at that. I just earlier today recorded my first ever paid channel review, and so I'm going to be uploading that soon. It came in at just under an hour, took an hour to film, about half hour to edit. It was a light edit, but then it took like 2 hours to render, and that kind of caught me off guard. I was kind of late for the Ace of Vegas podcast because it was rendering. It clocked in at just under 17 gigs because I rendered it at 4K. I have to check the maximum file size for YouTube. It might be too big. I got to double check that before I try uploading it. So that's a whole thing. But you can look forward to that coming out. I know I say never do more than one video in a day, but I want to get that one out quickly and still keep up with these live streams. So at some point, 2 things will come out on this channel in one day. One will be a live stream and one will be that channel review. So yeah, there we go. This is the Instagram page. You got a link to your YouTube there, which is pretty solid. And it looks like you're putting some of your thumbnails up here and some other sort of things. That looks pretty good. And you've got your Twitter. Account suspended. That was unexpected. Okay. I am very intensely curious as to why your account was suspended. I would love to know more. That having been said, I would remove that link until this issue is resolved, because that's not a good look. Don't have much more to say about that in particular. Okay, so let's dive in here. You have something that's serving as a channel trailer, but given that it's over 8 minutes long, I don't think it is, in fact, a channel trailer. Renetti Burst Mod, trying the most broken weapon in modern, presumably, warfare. So that is an interesting topic, I think. Broken, I have found, is sort of the new way of calling things overpowered or OP as it used to be in back in the day of like weeks ago, a month ago. So now they call it broken, it seems, which is funny because they say broken, but it's often for an overpowered weapon. And so it's like, well, no, it's actually like broken would mean it doesn't work. This works too well, I suspect. I don't know. I finally unlocked the Renetti Burst mod. This video will be the first time I use the Akimbo and Burst mod on the Renetti. Whoa, the Renetti is broken. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's fine. Again, I do generally recommend that you copy your title into the description as well for SEO reasons. Maybe it appears later in the description, I'm not sure, or some variant thereof, but that's something I generally recommend. Scrolling down here, we've got your uploads. So what I would strongly recommend is that you create at least one more row here. You do that by coming to your channel, clicking Customize Channel, be a blue button on the mid-right there. And then you can come down and click Add Section and choose Popular Videos as a single horizontal playlist. And then YouTube will show your 5 or 6 most watched videos by view count, and it will update over time. So if one video starts getting more views than another, all of it is a set it and forget it. Take care of it. YouTube takes care of it for you. I want to take a look as to whether or not you have some playlists here. So you have a Call of Duty Modern Warfare playlist, which makes sense given that seems to be the primary focus of your channel. You have gaming, which is interesting. That's kind of broad. Black Ops 4. Which only has 2 videos in it, I noticed. So what I would suggest is that the Call of Duty Modern Warfare playlist should also be added to your homepage, which you can do in a very similar manner. Go away, Channelytics. We'll get to you later. Again, customize channel on the right-hand side here. Go to the bottom, click Add Section, then choose Single Playlist Horizontal Row, and then you'll be able to choose from your playlist, and I suggest you put it there. Put that between uploads and popular uploads or popular videos would be my recommendation. I think that would fill out the channel layout a little bit more. Another thing you can do that I recommend is you can activate a module on the right-hand side here where you can recommend other channels. It might seem a little counterintuitive because you don't want to drive people away from your channel, but I think it gives you a micro boost in the algorithm. And my own little empirical testing has shown that that is, I think, the case. I had mine up. I had a video, my Six Flags video, where I was getting kicked off some rides at Six Flags on Vacation Impossible. You can check that out and judge me for it later. I get a lot of hate in the comments on that video, as one might imagine. And then when I had accidentally disabled it and then re-enabled it, suddenly my video went off a cliff and wasn't recommended anymore. It may have been a coincidence, but I really wonder about that. The timing was awfully suspicious. And I think that YouTube tends to reward people who use more of their functions, including things like info cards and end screens, captions, hearting, replying to comments, liking comments, all of that sort of stuff, gives you a bit of a boost because I think it shows that It shows YouTube that you're taking things seriously and you're using all the tools at your command and giving it a lot of information to crunch on. And so if you were to recommend channels that cover similar content, maybe channels you look up to, and if no one fits that particular bill, you could put like the publisher of the game up there. It further establishes the links that supports what your channel is about in the algorithm behind the scenes. And when people come to your channel, they can see that you support other channels or perhaps the brand of the company that made the thing, and I think that garners you goodwill. I don't think there's a downside to it really, because there's something on YouTube called session watch time. I haven't spoken about this for a bit, but it's very important. So if somebody, the first video they happen to watch on YouTube on a particular day or whatever, happens to be yours for whatever reason, maybe they clicked a Facebook link or a link from Reddit or Twitter, assuming you get your account unsuspended, if that's even possible, I'm not sure. So they begin their experience on YouTube perhaps with your video. And if that leads them down a wonderful rabbit hole of binge watching where they watch all sorts of content, your content, other content, whatever, for hours and hours on end, YouTube is grateful for you for having brought the person to the platform and set them up for a long viewing session. Session watch time. Now, session watch time is not a number or an analytic that you can look at, but it's something that the algorithm looks at. Previous white papers that were released on earlier iterations of the algorithm have shown that to be the case. So for that, having people stay on YouTube, even if it's not your stuff, does benefit you some in the algorithm. Obviously, better if it is your stuff. But giving them those options, not a bad thing, because session watch time is good. Now, that having been said, if somebody was already on YouTube, they're watching a few videos, whatever, they come to your video, and then whilst watching your video, they just close the browser. Or perhaps they click on a link in your description or in one of your info cards or an end screen that takes them away from YouTube, and then they go and they buy a t-shirt, or they go and they buy something on Amazon or whatever. Examples of that affiliate links are down below. If you were to click on that in such a way that you then stopped watching YouTube, it would see that your video ended that session watch time, and that would not be a thing that YouTube would be very happy about. People have theorized that YouTube wants most ad presentations and therefore more views. And it makes some sense if you were to think about it. The more views you get, the more ads that run really at the beginning of the video. Those are some of the most common. The more page refreshes, you get the ads on the side panel as well, and you'd think they'd make more money that way. But that's actually not what YouTube cares about. They're not about the maximum number of ad impressions. They are about keeping people on the platform for as long as possible. That's what they want. That creates brand loyalty and all sorts of positive things. And they get the ad impressions over that long session. But really, it's about keeping people on the platform and not driving them away. That is very important to YouTube. And that actually makes sense, because one of the things that we know about when it comes to ads is that they do not have enough ads to fill all of the opportunities to show ads. And that's partly why they don't care as much about views versus watch time. So how can they sell more ads? Well, if people spend more time on YouTube, people talk about YouTube more, it's in the zeitgeist and it's where people go to. Number 2 search engine in the world, if it were to become number 1, for example. That's how you can sell more ads, is by having more eyeballs there. And that's more appealing to the advertisers. So that's the path to, more money. Spaceballs 2, the quest for more money. And so that's really, on the surface, you might think it's the views, but it really is about watch time on the platform that they care a lot about. And so prior to the last monetization change, it was generally known that the fill rate was 50%. What am I talking about there? Let's say that you have 100 opportunities to show someone an ad, but the various advertisers have only paid for 50 impressions or views of your ad. Then that creates a fill rate of 50%. And so that's where things were at before the monetization rules changed all that long while ago. In that cold January of the past. And so I think that when they demonetized a bunch of channels, a lot of ad opportunities kind of vanished, and they tried to bolster confidence with advertisers that only quality content or content of a certain caliber and, perhaps even moral standing or something, depending on what advertisers cared about, was there. So it may have brought more advertisers to the platform. I imagine that certainly was their hope, or at least keeping people from leaving, because you may recall there were a lot of issues of people leaving, advertisers leaving the platform because their ads were running before videos that were offensive or against the values of their brand, things like that. So they tried to stem the tide, maybe bring people back and maybe bring new advertisers there. But the point is that I don't know that YouTube has ever had a 100% fill rate. I don't think they've ever had more ads than they knew what to do with. If they got to that point and sustained at that level for a period of time, then maybe we would then see a focus on views. Maybe that's what it was like prior to 2010. Maybe that's what it was. I think more likely is that they just hadn't really deepened their understanding of how they could make more money by getting more ads. It wasn't about the number of views. It was about becoming a household name, I think, is a big part of it. So when you keep in mind the fact that the fill rate is not 100%, that can hopefully pre-answer some questions we get every now and then. Not super common, but we do often get questions in the Facebook group, which has like 219,000 YouTubers in it now, which is mind-blowing anytime I think about that number. But sometimes people say like, oh, I'm monetized. My channel is monetized. I monetized the video. I said I wanted, a pre-roll ad and a banner ad. And when I go to check my video or other people watch my video, they say they're not getting an ad presentation. How do I fix this? Well, the simple fact could be that nothing is wrong. It could be that maybe people are taking ads that are not the demographic of the person watching, or it could just be with the fill rate somewhere in the neighborhood of 50%, maybe a bit more, that they just didn't happen to have an ad to run at that time. So that can happen. So if you're looking at something like a sample size of 1 or 2 viewings, well, that's like flipping a coin if we're talking a 50% fill rate. So I caution against doing that and watching your own videos and ads and stuff, because that gets dangerously close to violating both YouTube's and AdSense's terms of service. So I don't recommend doing that. If you're worried that you're not getting ad presentations, you can go in Creator Studio and check to see that everything has got the green dollar sign, so it's fully monetized. You can also go and look at in like the Studio app, for example, on your mobile phone, if you have that. You can also look at this on desktop. I like looking at it on mobile just because it's easier, because I'll have it with me and I'll be like, I'm waiting for a bus or something. Let me see. It will show you, you can look at how many views you have, but it can also see views that had ads on them. And you can look at your ad rates. And so those are the things that I think are a better metric of whether or not ads are presenting on your videos than if you were to go incognito mode or ask your friend to take a look, because doing that is kind of against the rules. So don't go for that. Go for the analytic tools that YouTube gives you, is my recommendation there. Obviously, I'm not talking to Pliggle at this moment about that. I'm just keenly aware that we have other people watching, and there will be people rewatching. If you're rewatching this, hit us up in the comments, #rewatch. Or I guess maybe replay, if you haven't, because rewatch implies you watched it once before. You're really watching the replay. So if you're not with us live, hit us in the comments, #replay, and let me know that you came back and watched it later. You know, let me know what you think about what you're seeing. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them, and that sort of thing. And let me know, hey, if you think I'm completely wrong about these things, let me know. I'm happy to be corrected. So, obviously, at 274 subscribers, Pliggle is not yet monetized. I just wanted to kind of address that since my mind wandered into that cavern, if you will. So that's that. Let's take a look here at the Channelytics. This, again, is part of the TubeBuddy tool. You get this with the free version. If you don't have TubeBuddy, there's no good reason not to. Trust me. So you got your name, Modern Duty, Modern Warfare Gameplay, and Modern Warfare Warzone, or your channel tags. I think you can, expand upon that. As I understand it, Modern Warfare is a Call of Duty game, and you don't have Call of Duty here anywhere. You can expand upon that. It looks like this video here about this particular weapon has gotten 2,000 views. Seems relatively high for your channel. On the recent uploads, I see it hovering between 30 and 1,200 views, so 2,300 views seems to be quite a few. So if this is one of your more watched videos, then even going in and mentioning this weapon, this specific thing, putting that in your channel tags might not be a bad idea, because that could be driving a lot of traffic to your channel. So let's embrace it. And if the tag also exists at the channel level, it further assists the SEO ranking of this particular video, as well as your channel sort of writ large. So let's take a look here. You've got a couple days where you definitely crushed me for views. My channel is suffering right now because of a certain unnamed malady that's out in the world. People aren't really interested in traveling right now, and I understand. I appreciate it. But it looks like there was at least 3 days here where you were crushing me at least. So I'm seeing May 7th, May 10th, and the 22nd. So let's remember those dates, 7, 10, 22. For subscribers, the 7th was the beginning of a rush that peaked around the 11th. Nothing around the 22nd, though, so that is quite telling. Now, let's play the game. Ray guesses when you uploaded. I'm going to guess you uploaded on the 7th, the 10th, and possibly the 22nd. 7, 10, 22. What do we got here? We got an upload on the 7th. On the 10th, close enough. And on the 20th-ish, that's pretty close. I think I'm going to give it to myself. Let me know if you disagree in chat, but I think I nailed that. So what is this telling us? What are these graphs telling us? For one thing, it looks like something was going on from the 7th to the 12th that was driving subscriber growth. And I'm seeing here there's this video on the 7th. And there is the 10th, but I think really because it started here and it was sustained for a while, I suspect the video you put out on May 7th was driving subscriber growth. So if you had a call to action in your video where you specifically asked people to subscribe, I would say that the way and the timing of that may have been good for your audience. Maybe you asked it at just the right point in the video where they had gotten enough value that it convinced them to do it, or maybe you did it in a funny or unique way that they appreciated and also subscribed as a result, something like that. It's also entirely possible because again, that's that subscriber growth that we're seeing. And then, yeah, we do see it peak on the 11th, and you did have a video come out on the 10th. So again, actually, that 10th video is probably important, possibly even more so. I would look at those two videos. What did you do? What was your end screen like? What was, what was the description, your call? But I think call to action and end screen are probably the two big ones for those that you're going to want to look at. And then replicate and possibly make that part of your standard sort of workflow. So for example, I've been using PlaceIt recently. I've got a link down below, saves you 15%. They have these pre-rendered templates for end screens. And I've made a couple for myself. I've been using them a lot. I like them a lot. And I think it really makes both of my channels look a lot more professional. And I'm really excited about that. And so, for example, if I saw something like that for my channel, I would look at, and maybe if I was experimenting with different end screens, and I saw that, right after these two videos, there was a burst of subscriber growth, I would look at what those end screens were and think, okay, maybe that's the one I need to make my usual end screen, potentially. If that is what's driving it. It's also, there's views here on the 7th and again on the 10th. So we're seeing substantial views here, nearly 900 there, 2,300 in the next one, which matches this video here, has gotten in 3 weeks. You got that in 1 day over here. So for this channel, that's quite the spike. Heck, for my channel, it'd be quite the spike. And so again, what was happening those days? I think it was where you released these two videos. These two videos are important videos in recent memory for this channel. And so if you can make more content similar to that, perhaps of similar duration, a similar thumbnail style, similar title, or content, subject matter, whatever it was, there was some magic happening there. So if you can make those two rarities, potentially rarities, and make that part of your standard process, then maybe the growth would become standard for you too. I think that would be quite exciting. And so you had some... Oh, that was my subscriber bunch there, and that was the views. You also had a bit of a burst of views here on the 22nd. Let's dive into that for a second. No corresponding increase in subscribers, which is surprising. Views drive subscribers. Not guaranteed, but that's the direction it flows in. Subscribers do not get you views with the same causal relationship because of the way that YouTube just doesn't show videos to subscribers. So that's something that's worth mentioning a lot. So you put out 3 videos on the 20th. I don't recommend doing that. And I know this graph can be a little hinky. You might have done something, you might not have done 3 in 1 day because it depends on like time zones and various factors. But let's assume for the moment that you had done. I would recommend against doing that because the algorithm more favors a video a day for 3 days than 3 videos in 1 day. Part of that is because the first 24 hours of your video is very important. It's the first opportunity that with global, audiences on YouTube, that everyone had a chance to watch your video regardless of time zone. That's why that first 24 hours is very important. Particularly all of your subscribers and perhaps those few subscribers that have notifications on. Did they actually action the notification? Did they watch the new video? How engaged are your subscribers? How engaged is your audience? That's an important measurement. And if you have 3 videos all vying for attention in that same period of time, they are competing against each other. And that's not great. Whereas if each one had its own day in the sun, if you will, then it shows the algorithm consistency and growth potentially, and then it will reward you for that. So that's something to think about. And here, there's also the challenge of some magic happened for views around about the 20 to the 22nd. And so in order to dive into that and understand why that happened, having 3 videos on 1 day, it's harder to figure out which video would have clicked for that. I mean, you can probably look at the view counts, and that will probably tell you. It's an extra step in the process, though. So is it one of those videos that drove the views? But there's a time disconnect because those went up on the 20th, but the views came rolling in on the 22nd. So it could be that the 22nd was the day that you shared it somewhere effectively. And so I would also, if you can remember and think back on where you were sharing things on the 7th, the 10th, and the 22nd, particularly the 22nd, because that seems tied solely to views, not necessarily immediately to an upload or subscriber growth. That's an anomaly. That's a bit of a black swan, as they call it. And a black swan is something that happens rare but has a big impact. And if we pay attention to it and we understand how and why it creates an impact, you can replicate it, and that can become the new normal. So if you can think back to where you were sharing your videos on the 22nd, it's possible that you found that subreddit that really is your culture. It might have been you found that magic Facebook group. And so you might want to double down on that. But do so carefully. If it is a community where you were sharing things, it is possible to go too far in any one direction. So I would say go and invest in that space. Comment on other people's things, upvote other things. Be a member of that community, understand the rules well, and continue to share, but don't flood. There's a balancing act there so that you don't overdo it. Because you don't want to burn that bridge, because if that bridge goes somewhere nice. And you're going to want to use the bridge again. And so that's just something to think about and, to look back on your own actions and figure out how can you capitalize? How can you learn from this data? What is this data telling you? Bar charts and numbers and graphs are all wonderful, but they really only have value if they help you make better or different decisions, more well-informed decisions. And so this is the kind of stuff that you can use TubeBuddy and your YouTube analytics to actually kind of dive into and then take that information and turn them into action items. Things that you actually go out and do in the world that hopefully improve your channel. So hopefully that was somewhat helpful there. Take a look at the About page. So this could be bulked up. One of the things I frequently talk about on this channel is that you've got 10,000 views. You've been at this since April. That's fairly impressive. That's a good growth. There's no objective measure, but I think those are good numbers. Because people are constantly asking, so I'll just save you from having to ask. Even though I don't think that evaluation has value. You're running your own race. You're only racing against yourself of the past. And you're relatively new to the race, so welcome to YouTube, in case nobody has said it. It seems like you're doing well for a good start. But you've spent some time on that, and you're spending some time with me right now. And you could have been spending your time anywhere, so thank you. Appreciate you being here, and I hope this is helpful for you. But the fact that you're doing that tells me that you want to invest in yourself. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can do it with money. You can go and you can get a paid subscription to TubeBuddy. Less than 1,000 subscribers, you can get the lowest tier if you pay for a year at once. It's less than $4 a month. That's a good investment into yourself and into your channel if you wanted to. For example, that's one thing you can do. But you also invest other things. You invest your time and your effort. And so you're investing time with me right now. You want to succeed, I imagine, for a reason. But why? Why are you here? I'm not talking about I'm here to get more subscribers to learn about YouTube. Why are you on YouTube? Why do you put these videos out? Why do you put the time in? Why do you edit and record? Well, record and then edit, but why do you do those steps in whatever order you do them in? You probably share things and you're here to learn. Why do you want to succeed at YouTube? I'm not asking what your goal is. That is a different question. A goal can be I want 1,000 subscribers to get monetized or to get my community tab or whatever. Ability to go live on mobile. There's perks to different goals and metrics, but that is all in service of something else. Why do you want the community tab? Why do you want monetization? Why do you want to get live on mobile? Why do you want to do these things? And I don't know, looking at your description, and I think your description is a great place to put a why. If you don't know why is important, then there is a book that I do recommend, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I've got a link to it down below. This is the kind of book where when I was reading it, I would have to stop, put it down, and take out my phone or run to my computer and immediately make a change on my YouTube. This book's not about YouTube. I don't even think it mentions it once. It's about a bigger thing. It's about understanding your motivation for things. And when you get to a why that you can articulate, explain easily and simply, clearly, and share with people, then if it aligns with their values, if they believe what you believe, then they feel a kinship with you. and they want to support you, and that's when they want to see you succeed. I frequently see in the Facebook group, hey, support me, and that's it. And they come to you, if I can sound like the Merovingian from Matrix Reloaded, they come to you without why, without purpose. And the why is so important. Here, I'm just going to do the why is absolutely critical. And frequently people in the group respond with that. Why should I support you? And they're like, oh, nice people support me, what loyal people support, whatever. And then that becomes insulting. And now you're insulting the people you want help from, and it degrades from there. And it's all because you came there, as the Merovingian says, without why, without power. That's one way of looking at it. Without purpose, without a reason. And if people feel that you believe what they believe, then sometimes they will go to the end of the earth for you. They will watch everything you do. They will buy everything you put out. They will follow you on Twitter when it's, not banned. Instagram, Facebook, and all those different things. And those are what we call the true fans. And there's a theory out there. If you care about monetization at all, the theory goes like this. It's the 1,000 true fan theory. If you have 1,000 people that are like that will watch everything you put out, buy everything you produce. If you write a book, they'll buy the book. Whatever it is. If you get 1,000 people like that, and then you can figure out some way to get about $100 out of each of them every year, whether it's through them watching ads on YouTube or supporting you on Patreon or whatever, clicking your affiliate links, then you now are making $100,000 a year. At $100,000 a year, you can probably quit your day job and do it full time. And so people say like, and hey, I subscribe, I think it's the best theory I've heard, that in terms of YouTube subscribers, I've heard from people who have quit their day job for YouTube, and they have consistently told me you need about 200,000 subscribers before you can very seriously consider quitting your day job. And I buy into that. It may or may not be right, and different people monetize different ways or have different kinds of audiences. It's not a hard and fast number, but if you're at 200,000 and you haven't at least thought about it, I think it's time to think about it. About how serious do you want to do this? Do you want this to be what you do with your life? It's a big question. I don't have that answer for you. I can help you talk you through it though. But if that's the case, and I think part of the reason is in a random sampling of an audience, you need about 200,000 people for 1,000 of them to be those true fans that are so fantastic. And you can't appreciate them enough. They're the ones who keep you going. They're the ones who give you a positive comment on that video that gets almost no views. They're the ones that are there for you through thick and thin for whatever reason. But the reason is generally, maybe they just find you really attractive. Maybe they find you very funny. They like the sound of your voice, the way you talk. Some people like beards. I don't get it. Whatever it is, I think that a lot of them, whether it's conscious or subconscious, they believe what you believe. They share your values. And so if you can articulate why you're doing YouTube in a way that speaks to them. I used this example recently, and I think I'll give it again. Let's say that I'm trying to tell someone something. When I was hired for a company years ago, I was in a room with a bunch of other new hires. We were paired off, and we were supposed to tell them something about ourselves. And so I'm trying to make a good impression. Because I also knew that at some point the CEO was going to stop by that meeting. And so I'm like, I want to make a good impression on these people. It's like, I'm new to the job. And so tell them something unusual about yourself. And so there was something that I thought I would share because it was on my mind. And there's two different approaches I could have taken to telling this person about it. I could have said, you know what? I raised $75,000. I did it by playing video games. Yeah, the money was for charity. So in those three statements, how big of a prick did you think I was? Pretty big, little, it was probably pretty big. He's talking about making money, like who the hell cares? A little bit more because he did it by playing video games, cocky bastard, whatever. And then, it's for charity. Okay, and then, you come back down here. Instead, if I say, look, when I was young, I was hospitalized a couple of times. One time I had no entertainment. I was in the hospital for nearly a month. And then 5 years later, I was hospitalized again, but that time I had a video game. And that second time, it was so much easier for me. And so I help raise money for a charity that puts video games in hospitals. And I do that by playing games on the internet, if you can believe it. Last year, raised $75,000. It's amazing. How much of a prick am I through that? I think I start off as not a prick, and I think I stay there. And the reason is because in the second iteration of that, I start with why. If they understand the why instead of the how or the what, then they can see the value that you have. Not, I'm talking about like, oh, I'm valuable. I'm talking about the values, like the things that are important to you, the things that you think are right or wrong. There's a lot of important conversations going on about right now about a lot of people talking about what's right or wrong, where their values are. And they are creating groups that they belong to, and some of them are clashing right now as we speak. And the thing is that, if you get down to it, most people share similar values. There's some values that are universal. Species value their children. Otherwise, they are no longer species after a couple of generations. There are some, people believe in justice. People might define it differently, and those details can get niggling. But if you can start with why, if you can start with the fact that we think people should be all treated the same, something like that, and then everyone should be safe. If we start somewhere like that, and then we build on that rather than the other way around. Instead of saying like, oh, this is right or this is wrong, and then trying to backtrack into why, that's a much harder argument to make, and people tune out and stop listening after a point. That's the why is so important because it speaks to your values. And when people share your values, then they share the journey with you, and that's how you really find, I think, giant success. So there's that. Let's see what's going on in chat. Pliggle, I bet you didn't see it going there when you asked for a channel review at the end, huh? But I think it's important. I think it's more than just succeeding at YouTube. That is about having a better life, being happier. And if you want something else to read about that, I highly recommend Andrew Matthews. Follow Your Heart, Being Happy, things like that. It's about, you could be a massively successful YouTuber. You could have a giant audience and you could be making tons of money. But if you're not happy, what was the point? And then you'll burn out, and it won't be sustainable. Having a why that you believe in will sustain you more than money will, I think. Particularly in the early days where the money's just not that good. All right, let's see here. Raise in a house. I am in a house. That is true. Factual. Pliggle wants a channel review. Okay, let's do it. I just did it. Super Raw Fighting League makes it clear he does not want a channel review. That's because I've reviewed his channel a few times. And so we just need the universe to realize how awesome he is, and then it'll take off. Brickworld Therapy is here with a beard. With his beard, yes. I just want to raise my party hands in the air. How white was that? Raise your party beards in the air. All right. I'm here, not her. Here, says Henry. Does. Welcome, Henry. Henry, were you asking for a channel review before, I think? Let me know if that was the case. I think you were probably one of those people that I maybe inadvertently skipped. Like, I think Isotope I may have missed. Things are getting a little intense with these live streams, doing them 5 days in a row. I think we're building some momentum, which is awesome. Certainly proving that theory about, going daily does a lot for you on YouTube. It's hard to sustain. I'm only going to do 5 days in a row. Today is day 4, so we've got one more of these live streams coming up. Tomorrow will be the last one of this particular stretch. I don't know when I'll do them after that. It really depends on so many life factors. I can't even begin to guess. And so there have been a lot of requests for channel reviews, and there's just no way for me to get to all of them. So, but there is the option of, if I don't get to you during one of these live sessions where you have the sort of the random chance of getting it for free, if you want to do like a paid consultation, paid training, or paid channel review, reach out to me, and that's something that we could probably arrange. And so I just did my first one today. It'll be uploaded later. But basically, it's like I'll guarantee at least 45 minutes of a review, probably closer to an hour, because I like to talk, in case you haven't picked up on that. And I'll actually upload it to the channel if you would like. That way you might even get a little bit more exposure, and that way you can rewatch it as many times as you need to get whatever nuggets are there, or to really give it to me for being wrong, whatever you like. So there's that option out there if unfortunately I'm not able to get to you. So there is another path forward. Unfortunately, it's just not a free one, but I have limited time, and that's how I can kind of control the supply and demand of it. That's economics for you. Request channel reviews early, says Brickworld Therapy. That is good advice, because you can probably tell I'm already very far behind in chat. At some point, I will get tired or I'll run out of time, and then I will just start reading chat without doing channel reviews. Right now, channel reviews are still open, but there might already be more requests in chat than I can get to. I don't know. That's the way forward in case that happens, and you really do want to. Henry does. Can I also please get a channel review? There we go. That's what I thought. So, okay, Henry does. Let's do it. I like that. So I can see in chat, I'm going to start off with chat. So before I even search your channel, you got your profile picture here. Shrinks down very well. Clearly a nice picture. Reminds me a little bit of a young Kevin Hearn from Bare Naked Ladies, Canadian pop band that had some success in the US with 1 Week and a couple other songs. And so I like Kevin for whatever that's worth. And so anyways, the name Henry does. So that makes me think that this might be a handyman channel. Something similar to the Dad How Do I, maybe like how to unclog a toilet or something. That's what I suspect, or maybe / hope for, because it would be unique. I don't see a lot of things like that. What I fear, just because I see it a lot, is I'm going to guess it's a gaming channel. But I'm hoping that's not the case, because there's nothing here that really says gaming. It could also be a personality channel. I mean, maybe it's like Dirty Jobs, and you just try a bunch of stuff. That would be kind of cool. Maybe it's all about challenges. I don't know. The reason I mention that is that tells me that both your channel name and your profile picture don't tell me what your channel is about. Ideally, it's nice if it can, but your name is very few characters, and that profile picture is very small. It's always a circle. It always gets shrunk down, so it's hard to do a lot of things in those two small spaces. I do get that. I do sympathize. Okay, what do we got here? Henry does. Okay. So, yeah, nice picture. It looks like a modeling headshot, which is kind of cool. It looks very professional. So that's good. Again, doesn't convey information, but it does. It is a very professional picture. And so that is a plus. I don't recommend necessarily changing it. And so the TubeBuddy Search Explorer score here is a 12. It's channel name, though. Don't put too much into that, especially when your channel name is not describing something. It looks like people actually search the expression Henry does often, but there is a lot of competition. So let's see here. We've got 325 subscribers and 59 videos. Okay, cardinal sin of YouTube descriptions. Welcome. Just stop, everybody. It's not about you, Henry. It's just I've seen it so many times. Stop saying welcome in your description. For the love of God, please. I am now officially begging you. I can't take it anymore. It's conversational. It's a waste of space. Nobody's searching that word. That word doesn't describe your channel. It conveys no information. Please stop. I'm developing strong feelings about that. I hope you're having an amazing day. Isn't that nice? I still don't know what your channel is about. Oh, and there's an emoji that doesn't become an emoji. I recently did a video on this channel about the emoji picker in TubeBuddy. It's part of the free TubeBuddy description. The link is in the description. Go get the browser plugin. It makes using emojis so much more effective, so that they'll actually appear as emojis, which is great. I create entertaining videos. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're hitting all the notes here that drive me crazy. And again, I don't mean to be mean. It's just frustrating for me because I see this all the time. And you know what? I want to know. I want to, because I have seen so many things in our Facebook group that say I make legit entertaining content. That exact phrase, those particular words, legit entertaining content, those 3 words as a phrase. I want to know where the hell that came from, because there's no way that literally thousands of people all decided with all of the words in the English language to put those 3 together in that exact order. There is probably someone out there, I think somebody like Tech Realm or somebody, who somewhere told a whole lot of small YouTubers, use this magic phrase and you'll get subscribers. And they were either lying or misinformed, because it tells people nothing about what the video is about. I hope you're not taking this personally. It's not meant personally. I say these things really honestly out of love, and I hope that you succeed. If I just say it here and say nice things, you get no value. And so I'm going to, as part of a channel review, make recommendations to change things. Otherwise, I'm wasting everyone's time. You don't have to do what I say. You can take it with whatever size grain of salt you want. You know, my biggest channel has 2,000 subscribers. I don't think that makes me an expert. I run a group with, 219,000 YouTubers in it. Does that make me good at YouTube? Not necessarily. But I've been on the platform since 2006 and I've seen a lot of things. And so from my large, not exactly statistical, but analysis, my experiential discovery of things, I create entertaining videos. What the hell does that mean? Let's break it down. You create them. Of course, it's your channel. Create them. Yeah, you got to make them. Good, you're not stealing. You get a plus there. Entertaining. What does that rule out? What on YouTube is not in some way entertaining? There's people that do it poorly, but you could replace entertaining with good, right? Would it change what you're saying at all? Not really. I make good videos. You make videos, you say. On YouTube, no less. Everything on YouTube is a video. This is a sentence devoid of all meaning. And again, I hope this doesn't come out as harsh, but I really want to get this point across because so many people do it. I'm not saying this to Henry. I'm saying this to all y'all out there. There is a disturbing percentage of you. I'm going to say 60 to 75% of you watching me probably right now that say welcome and video or entertaining videos either in your description of your channel or when you share things in Facebook groups or elsewhere. And it is such a waste of time and space, and it does nothing for you. And you know why it really gets me worked up is because you're missing such a massive opportunity. You're playing baseball with a wet noodle. If you grab a bat, you're going to do so much better, even if you have no talent or skill. And then imagine that you also have talent and skill, or you develop some over time. So, yeah, welcome. And entertaining videos is like trying to use wet pasta to hit a baseball. You're just going to make a mess. You're not going to impress anybody. If you enjoy the content, oh, for the love of God, I can't win here. This is breaking me. This is day 4 of live streams. Can you tell? Man, it's hitting all of my buttons. If you enjoy the content. By content, do you perhaps mean videos? You are using so many words and telling me nothing. I hate the word content. I want to strip it from all public-facing YouTube channels. Your audience should never hear the word content. I used to say this in a nicer way, but you know what? No, I'm flexing on this one. I've decided that our audiences should never hear the word content escape our lips ever again. Actually reminds me of a Bare Naked Ladies song. I don't know why I keep going back to that, but I never thought I'd hear words like product escape my lips is the line from a Bare Naked Ladies song off of Gordon, I think. Let's replace product with content, because product reviews are fine. But no, this is showing people that you're making the sausage, and people sometimes like to know things like that and whatever, and that's all fine, but that's not a polished product. If you have to put it together yourself, that's, sort of IKEA, and IKEA has its place, but that, it's just that, you know what it is? It's like walking down the aisles of IKEA, and instead of seeing the furniture put together, you see it in pieces. And so I see that, oh, you make, I'm welcome. That's good. You make entertaining videos that are content. That's like saying that furniture is made out of wood. Might be a table. Could be a chair. Might be a bookshelf. Help me. Help your audience. Help the strangers. When you're writing a description, you are writing for strangers. When you create a title or a thumbnail, you are writing for strangers, not your existing audience. And so, for a stranger, this does nothing. I am having a pretty amazing day, though, so thank you for that. And I do feel welcome. Being so savage. Was it Sassy Ray today? So anyways, I legit have no earthly idea what this channel is about. I really don't. I would scrap everything on this screen in terms of those words. Again, your profile picture, lovely. Very professional headshot. I like it a lot. Channel name, pretty good. Kind of makes me curious about it. Nothing wrong there. This description, though, I just can't. Tell me what your channel is about at the beginning of your description in as few words as possible to make it as clear as possible. And then you can pivot into other niceties and things. But for the love of God, please do that. Okay. Let's go into this channel and find out what it's about. God, I hope the banner tells me something. I'm not optimistic. Okay, what do we got here? Oh. Wait, hold on. Okay, now I'm going to feel really bad because that video looks awesome. I very much want to watch that video. You know how I was hoping that banner would tell me something about what this channel was about? Yeah, nope. It's a lovely picture of you. The background color, not bad. The font's okay. It could be a little bit more readable, but it's still pretty good. Nice stylized stuff. What the hell is this channel about? What is going on? I just can't. Come on, give me a clue. For the love of God, I'm begging you. Give people a clue what you're about. You're never going to find an audience if you keep it a secret. Why is your content a secret? This is, YouTube is for people who want eyeballs. And they want understanding. They want comprehension in their audience, and they want fans. They don't want... this is not the witness relocation program. Your channel is in witness protection. Why? What did it see? What hurt you? What have you seen? Was it a mob hit? Which mobster wants you dead? I'm just running out of ways to say this after all these live streams. You've got your Twitter link, which is fantastic, and you set it up right because it's pulling the icon properly, so that's solid. Take a quick look at that. Make sure you haven't been banned from Twitter. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this on Twitter. A YouTube channel on gaming, music, fun reviews, and interesting topics. Also a film producer. This is a fascinating description. I mean, it's on Twitter, and that's why you have to say YouTube channel, so that's fine. You don't want to say that on YouTube. But still, now I know. Gaming and music and reviews. Awesome. Fun and interesting topics says nothing. Those words have no value. Go check it out. Smiley face is not an emoji. Not much value there. Also, a film producer. Film producer. That's awesome. I am fascinated. I like gaming. I like music. I like fun. Reviews can be great. And a film producer. That explains the professional pictures of you. Cool. I am unraveling this mystery. 99% of people are not going to put anywhere near this effort into finding out what you're about. Steal from your Twitter description to describe your YouTube channel. That would be a great start. So cool. That's good. You've got a Twitter for your channel. You got an Instagram here. Let's take a quick look at that. I love that meme. That is hilarious. Has the ability to break blocks with his own head, dies when touching a turtle. That's hilarious. And again, very great picture of you. It's a little Bill Nye almost, a little bit. I think that's great. Got this great smirk, wonderful expression on your face. You are super photogenic, and you are wasting it. But we can fix it. I want to watch this video so badly, I can't describe it. This picture is I like, because it's operating as your channel trailer, so I can't I don't see the thumbnail. But this frame that I'm frozen on right now, I badly want. You know what? I'm going to do something unprecedented. I'm adding this to my watch later. So as much as I eviscerated you before, and I do apologize for the harshness, hopefully some people found it funny. I was going for a bit of comedy there. I just did something I've never done before on one of these live streams. I'm so desperately want to watch this video. I added it to my watch later. I've never done that before. So hopefully that comes across as some compliment that maybe takes a little sting out of the other stuff I said before that, I feel a little bad about, but I meant. Like, I could have expressed it better, but I meant it. And okay, I'm a Mario guy, Billie Eilish bad guy using Mario. I want to watch that so badly. That is fascinating. I am a retro game guy, so that the game behind you, it immediately catches my eye and appeals to me and puts a smile on my face. And then there's you with the hat and the mustache, and the expression on your face. That has me so primed to laugh. That looks so fantastic. I'm super excited about it. If that video has any quality whatsoever, it should have way more than the nearly 800 views it has right now. Even 1,800 would be not good. Like, this should go viral if it's done well. I really am. I can't wait to watch this. I want to end this live stream right now and go watch that. I will cast that onto my TV. You will get a view and watch time out of me for this video. That is a promise. And I don't make promises in these live streams, like, ever. So that's great. Billie Eilish, bad guy, but it's played using sounds from Super Mario, except for my voice. Yes, I actually used all these sounds from Mario to create the song, all from the original NES game. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to slap the like button, comment below, and subscribe. I'm beginning to understand why it has a little less than 800 views, because I think that might be a little bit better. So let's take a look at one of the masters of something like this, at least in my opinion. Rental floss. Oh, I meant to search on YouTube, not just like sort of generally. Stop it. I don't want to look like I'm stealing your content. In fact, let's look for a specific one. I love, love, love this song in this video. Super Mario with lyrics. Yeah, no, he doesn't do a great job there either. Super Mario Land 2, a little bit. Okay. Maybe this is hard to do. Maybe it's hard to write a description for something like this. What about... I also really like this. Epic Nintendo Ballad. And then it's straight into checking out videos. Maybe this is like comedy. I mean, maybe it is comedy. That looks so good. I want to watch that so badly. Like, I'm thinking you make amazing content, and we really got to get some eyeballs on it. Because it bothers me that not more people are watching this. Assuming it's good, and I'm making that assumption. I think it's a safe bet. Yeah, okay, so maybe this kind of a thing is hard to write a description for, and it could be like comedy. Comedy is incredibly hard to write an effective description for, because it's hard to use SEO to get eyeballs on comedy. It just really is. So, you know, and it's funny. I am in the market for a new comedy channel. I used to watch someone named Brent Westgore who made very funny videos about trying to save up for a Tesla, and then he had a kid and he deleted his videos, and I am sad. But I will mention him at every opportunity I can. I hope one day that he comes back. I shared him with friends and family and got him several subscribers that way. Not for him, like, just maybe more for me, because I wanted him to make more videos. I was in the process of working on a collaboration with him. I had this funny idea. We were going to do a collab, and he just kind of dropped off YouTube, and he kept saying he'd come back, and then he just disappeared, and I'm sad. So, hey, maybe you're my new Brent Westgore, and I will maybe, like, yeah, this is a great opportunity. Maybe I'll mention you all over the place. I don't know. This looks like a lot of potential. The time I was paid by T-Series, I am curious. If that's clickbait, I will be angry. If it's not, I am very curious. Again, 22 views. If it's real, why is it only 22 views? I don't know. I don't know what this is. New dad talks about dad, how do I? Are these all comedies? Because this seems to be kind of all over the place. Cringiest old school TikTok video reactions. That coffin dance thing. I'm going to have to watch whatever that is one of these days and understand what it's about. Molly May, I don't know who that is. It's interesting. Maybe we need to figure out what your niche is. Maybe it is comedy, maybe it's reactions, I don't know. Really, just like this Mario thing, I'm just obsessed with. So what you're going to want to do, similar to what I recommend to other people, is you're going to want to flush this channel out more. You know, click Customize Channel. You can add, you know, your popular videos as a playlist. And let's see, do you have playlists? Mario playing Sonic Forces. See, that... I really like you in the hat and the mustache. And again, you're a very photogenic guy. And so as a result, it looks like you have potentially you have very expressive eyes and face. And so I think that can lend itself to comedy really well. So that's kind of cool. But I'm thinking, like, it sounds like you've got like reaction videos. You could have a playlist of reaction videos and possibly other things. So, but for this, you can put this playlist on your homepage as well. Any playlist that has more than 6 videos is worth considering putting on your homepage. Now that can be overdone. You don't want just your homepage to go on and on and on. But you want to have some curated content, and curated for perhaps the time that you're in. My travel channel, Vacation Impossible, does a lot of cruises, and that's not super popular right now. So I did restructure the channel right now. If you were to go there, you'll see funny videos and food videos and things like that. Whereas normally it would be like this cruise ship, that cruise ship, Alaska, Hawaii, things like that. And so you can adjust these things over time. But I would recommend you should have at least 2 more rows here. One is a curated playlist, the Sonic Forces thing will do. And then underneath that, your popular videos, so that somebody can instantly go and see what your popular stuff is, which I'm going to do right now because I am curious. I'm a very curious person. You can take that a couple of different ways. How to create the dancing coffin meme. Best dancing coffin meme. I'll have to go and watch that original video. I've been seeing this stuff everywhere. Dave504 plays bass for Mario. Mario reacts. I would watch that. I'm the Mario guy. Oh, that's okay. This is the thumbnail for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Billie Eilish fan, so maybe that blue hair is the tie-in there. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to watch that. But, like, okay, so that's your 4th most watched video. And again, super excited to watch it. That looks awesome. Henry does a new YouTube channel with gaming. Okay, this seems to be a sort of an introduction to your channel. And I'm seeing here we've got the NES, the N64, the PS1 twice over, I think. Or is one of those a Dreamcast or something? I don't know. I didn't own either of those. And then more coffin meme stuff. See that everywhere. Mario reacts to Mario memes. That sounds cool. I want to watch that. I've heard. But then, like, yeah, new dad talks about dad. How do I? So I mean, yeah. Are you about like YouTubers, or are you about like really obsessed with this coffin meme, or is it like yeah? I'm just trying to understand really what your channel is about. I'm still at that stage, unfortunately. I'm excited to watch some of the content on your channel, though. I think there's tons of potential here. What's the longer version of the About page? You never say what you're doing. Even all the way to the end. Slap that sub button and leave a comment. Let's talk about call to action for a second. People always ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. It's a list. It's a checklist. People hate homework. Liking is fine. That's a binary thing. You click the button. You can remind people. That's fine. Subscribing, you can have a value proposition. Subscribe so that you can. Also, you see our new videos about this that we've got planned or whatever. Check out our other awesome videos. I say that on this channel. Go check out. We've got tutorials about YouTube all over the place. Go check that out. And subscribing is a way of seeing it in your feed more. So that's fine. I always say subscribe with notifications on, because then you join these live streams, you get a channel review like this one. For good or ill, I can be vicious sometimes. Little catty. Little venti. This is my therapy, I think, sometimes. But comment as a call to action is no good. I'm just saying things bluntly today. I got no time for niceties. Commenting, asking someone to comment is... It's free text field. What are they going to comment? What are they going to write? Instead, what I strongly recommend is to get a comment is to ask a question. That is much more effective. It could be something like, what would you like us to do videos about? Comment below. Roberto Blake does his question of the day, and I emulate that from time to time a little bit. One thing that I've found is when I'm sharing videos in Facebook groups on a particular niche, it does very well if I ask a question with it. So, like today, I posted a video on Vacation Impossible about the buffet food on the Carnival Vista. When I was sharing that in groups that would be interested in it, I posed the question, do you think buffets should continue as they are? And that gets a lot of engagement. It sparks a conversation. Not everyone watches the video that answers the question, but every time somebody comments, it bumps it up to the top of that group. It's a little sneaky, but it does spark a genuine, sincere conversation. And I am an active participant in the conversation. So I will go and I will reply to things you know, if I think it adds to it, or like if someone says something that I think is incorrect, I might try to correct them, or I might expand upon what they say, or I might agree with them vociferously. There's a lot of different reactions, but I'm part of the conversation, and so there are groups that I am in that I think appreciate me there because I spark conversation. As Facebook says, conversation starter. They give you that little, I think it's a coffee icon that goes next to your name when you get that in a Facebook group, and so those are good things. And so, yeah, the call to action for comment. Much better to ask a question and then have people put the answer to the question in the comments, I think. And like one thing that I really enjoy on occasion, I really, speaking of comedy channels, I really love College Humor. And one of the guys on it, Brendan Lee Mulligan, I really enjoy him. And sometimes he gets robbed in some of their games. They have actually, it's like the game where nerds correct each other on errors about their various fandoms. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. But every now and then he'll come into disagreement with the host. He'll be like, "No, I was right." And he's like, "You were right, but that's not the thing we were looking for." And so he'll just turn to the camera and say, "Get in the comments." I love it because he's just like, you know, tell Mike Trapp he's wrong. Get in the comments. And like that, I think is great. I think it's a great call to action. And so whether it's in text or something else, if you want people to comment, I think you should do it where they can comment. Here they can't because it has to be on the video. And so in the video, I suggest asking people for that sort of thing. So let's put our sleuthing Deerstalker hats on, not our Mario hats. Boy, do I want to watch that video. Channelytics. So your channel tag is just your channel name. So further, this is the theme that I was harping on earlier, and I'll go a little softer this time, but you really need to let not just people and strangers and your audience know what you're about. You need to let the algorithm know what you're about. And so if this is comedy, put comedy. You know, that Mario Guy thing, I think that has got potential to blow up and be a meme, I think. So you might want to put Mario Guy in there. You could put a lot of different things in there, you know, if you're doing reactions, whatever, but flush this out. Let the algorithm know what you're about. Make sure you use tags that are accurate. Inaccurate tags can get you in trouble for misrepresentation. But if they're accurate and they tie into your other videos, they can give your channel and your videos a boost because the algorithm knows what you're about. And it is then comfortable showing you to other people. So you're hovering around like 200 views per day. Pretty solid, pretty solid. No peaks and valleys here that are jumping out at me a whole lot. So not a lot there to go on. Subscriber growth. You had a bit of a peak on May 10th. So I would suggest that maybe look at what you did on May 10th a little bit. But it's not that huge a peak. But maybe a video you had out that day had a good call to action in it. Or maybe you shared something effectively on a very good subreddit or something like that. And then videos. It's saying that there were some days where you published 2, and I just earlier in the live stream explained why I think you should only do no more than 1 a day, but that could be time zones and other things, so that might not be fully accurate. For example, this is saying that on vacation Impossible, I uploaded 4 videos today. That's crazy. One of the reasons that is, though, is I have some content ID matches on my older content before I got a guy writing music for me. And if you're having that same struggle and you don't have a good source of music, I highly recommend Epidemic Sound. I've got a link down below. Get a free full month. Every video you use their assets for and upload during your free month, you own the rights to those forever. So I would recommend at least go check it out. Not just for the music. I don't need the music because I've got a guy that writes music for me. What I love Epidemic for myself is the sound effects. Those are super helpful. I was doing something the other day where I needed a really good sound of a door opening because it happened off camera for a scene that I was doing, and it needed to very clearly be a door opening. And ironically, none of the doors in my house opening or closing sound like a door, it turns out. And that's Foley for you. And so I was able to use their sound effect, and it worked wonders. It got the job done. And so I highly recommend them if that's a thing. So anyways, but before I had someone who wrote music for me, before I discovered Epidemic Sound, in the early days of my YouTube experience, I would just use whatever music I thought was good, and I would get content ID matches. The thing about a content ID match is it's not to worry because it's not a copyright strike, and it can't get your channel shut down, so that's fine. But the thing is, you only get notified when it matches. And then you might go take a look, and it depends on the policy of the rights holder at the time. Sometimes they just don't care. They just want to make sure that they're just saying, hey, this is ours, but you do what you like. That happens. Sometimes they say, okay, we want the ad revenue. You can't make money off of this, but we'll let your video stay up. That's fine. Sometimes they say, you know what? You can't use this music. We're muting your audio. Sometimes they say, you know what? Okay, we're going to monetize this, but no one in Germany can watch this video. For some reason, like BMG and some other groups really don't want people in Germany listening to their music on other videos. I don't know what that's all about. But they can restrict it by certain countries. Sometimes it's a laundry list of like, it's restricted in these 189 countries. It's like, wow, that left what, 2? And so the problem is those policies can change at any time. The rights owner could decide one day, I want to monetize, but tomorrow, screw them, I want to mute it. And the problem is you get no notification when that happens. And one of the options is that the video is viewable nowhere. And so I think what this is happening here, it says I uploaded 4 videos. I think 3 of my old videos that had been set to nowhere are now viewable again, because I don't get a notification when that happens. I used a Shinedown song in this lovely parasailing video I made right before I found Cam's music, and every single day is different. Some days that video is there, sometimes it's not, some days it's muted, sometimes it's only visible in, North America, and I just can't be bothered to check anymore. And it's a shame, because I love that video, and I love that song, and hey, if they had content ID matched it so that the artist could make the money, I would be thrilled at that. I love the idea that the artist would be making the money off of my video, and that I could contribute to their success in some way. But this game of constantly, this shell game of like, now it's muted, now you can't see it in Germany. I have some extended family in Germany. They wanted to watch that video. I said, here you go, you should be able to. The next day they couldn't. The next day after that they could. So that is sometimes why those numbers might not be totally accurate. I assure you I did not release 4 videos yesterday. You see how I'm here awake and breathing? That's how you know I didn't release 4 videos yesterday. Okay, all right, let's go into chat and see how much people hate me after I really eviscerated this guy. Just finished my stupid robot build with Architect this morning. That's awesome. Ray, sounds good. Pretty please. Oh, did you possibly regret that? I may have really just killed the market for my channel review. So I feel a little bad. 7 times in Vegas makes you a local, surely, if I've been once. That's true. It just doesn't make me a like understanding of their businesses and like their profit and loss statements. I know he's going to rip my description to shreds, which would be fair. Oh, thank God, Henry. I'm so glad you understand, because I might just be your next biggest fan. I'm like, wow, I was really savage to this guy, and now I'm like really impressed. So cool. I'm glad you knew what you were getting yourself into. Piggle is a cool name. I strongly agree. It's not descriptive, but it's cool. It's fun to say, Piggle. It's a learning experience for sure. Yeah, and you come away a little bruised, but that's how we grow. I'm practically quoting Padme now. That's a rough feeling. What was it? Our mentors always see more of our flaws than we're comfortable with, or something, she says to Anakin in Attack of the Clones. What's Ray's snacks for tonight? I had my dinner. And you're gonna love this, but you're probably gonna wish I filmed it. But you're gonna love this stupid Raw Fighting League. We went to White Spot. In fact, I gotta prove it. Let's see here. Okay, Google, turn on the living room light. Apologies if that activated your house.
Okay, turning on the living room light.
Let's see if I can find it here. This is just for Stupid Robot Fighting League. He's the only one who's gonna care about that. But hey, you know what? You're true fans. You gotta show love. So I got takeout. White Spot. That is a chain here in Western Canada, and I have on Vacation Impossible. All gone. I have on Vacation Impossible mukbang that I got a request from John to film for White Spot, and it did very well. So I did a second one, and that second one did very well. And I don't know if I told you this yet, John. This might be breaking news for you. But when I was in Vegas, I filmed a silent mukbang at the MGM buffet, which I got for free, by the way. And I think I might be editing it maybe tomorrow, no promises. I do think I'll do a Vegas video tomorrow, because I was editing from my trip in January on the Carnival Vista today, and just as I clicked rendered, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about Vegas. I skipped a lot of videos, that I filmed in October. So we're going to go back, we're going to finish up Vegas, and then I'll go back to my last cruise before, the world ended. How are we doing here? I'm going for an hour and a quarter so far. Pretty good. That's actually my clothing brand. That's cool. Why isn't that mentioned on your channel anywhere? Clothing brand? Wait a minute. Did I look at this channel? I don't even remember. My mind is fried. This is my second live stream today, if you also count the podcast with... Yeah, no, yeah, I looked at this. This is the gaming one. Interesting. So maybe that's where that thing comes from. But is that even mentioned in your About page anywhere? Oh, right. The About page didn't load because I don't know. I don't think it's you. It's probably me. Okay, interesting. Well, if you don't mention your clothing brand on your About page, do, is my advice. So my snacks for tonight. So we had what is it? The artichoke cheese dip with fresh naan, which was amazing. I was concerned that it would get a little too cold because we got takeout. I ordered online. We picked it up at the restaurant and then walked back with it. I was worried that it would chill too much, and no, it was fantastic. And then I got a double burger, which was a little too big for me, and so now I'm like bloated and overfull and full of regret and fat. And Caesar salad, of course. But the double comes with double pickles, and so you'll appreciate that. No one but Stupid Robot Fighting League cares what I'm talking about right now. Move on, Ray. I will get to use captions on my next video. So excited. Yeah, captions is a thing. So YouTube can hear what you're saying, but it gets it wrong sometimes, and sometimes that's hilarious. There was a poor girl in our group about a month ago. And she had uploaded a video. I forget what it was about. It was like bunny rabbits or something. But let's just say what the captions thought she was saying was better fit to pornography. And she was just like, oh my God. Why does it think I said these things and how do I change it? I felt so bad for her. But that's the thing is YouTube can hear you, but it doesn't always get it right. And so the things that it hears you say does factor into SEO. But if it gets it wrong, you're going to want to correct it. But that's helpful. So YouTube generates captions automatically on some videos. I would love to know, and this is a challenge to people out there, if you can find this out and let me know. I would love to hear from I would like an authoritative source, but at this point I would settle for rumor. What is the deciding factor into whether you get auto captions or not? Because it doesn't seem to be about length or views. Maybe, I don't know. If somebody clicks it, I don't know. But on many videos, YouTube will automatically create captions for the videos. And so the shortcut you can do is then just go in and edit those, fix any errors, and then save that. And then you'll get the CC tag that's for closed captions as if you had typed it all out yourself. And you also get that SEO benefit. And so instead of, for example, when I talk about TubeBuddy, which I think is a great tool, it's my favorite YouTube tool. Whenever I talk about it, the auto captions for this channel calls it TUBEBUDDY, T-O-O. A lot. And so I'll go in and I'll correct it, particularly if it's a tutorial about TubeBuddy and I'd like to rank it so these videos can help people use the tool better. And so that's part of my process. And that's easier than typing it all out yourself, and it's cheaper than paying someone else to do captioning for you. Achilles Melee's in the house. Hey, Achilles, did you have like any burst of viewers last night around the time I ended my live stream? Because I told people to go watch you. I don't know that they did, but it would be cool if they did. Also, I was able to watch part of the NASA live stream for the last burn before docking, but I haven't watched the docking yet. But I imagine everything's good at the ISS, hopefully. Hopefully your stock is doing well. I don't know if you have SpaceX stock or not. But yeah, you know what I want? Maybe it's already out there. I haven't looked for it. I want someone to do a re-edit of the opening title sequence to Star Trek Enterprise, but use a bunch of SpaceX footage. I would like that. That would appeal to my nerdy little heart. And use Russell Watson's Faith of the Heart, and you'll get a content ID match probably, and it would still be the right thing to do as far as I'm concerned. I'm seeing things. Okay, let's see here. Looks like a cool channel. Animation Mood, did you want a channel review last time? Nah. Okay, that's cool. I suddenly don't feel so great. I might need to cut this one a little short. It's been a long day for me. Let's see. Okay, Google, turn off the living room light.
Okay, turning off the living room light.
Sick tonight, so won't be able to promote this as heavily. I am blessed that you promote my stuff at all. Thank you so much for what you do. I can't tell you how much more stressful moderating the group would be without you. And the fact that you spend any time promoting my stuff is a blessing that I do not understand, but I am eternally grateful for. So thank you. Awesome. Thanks. Busy. Have you heard of Arc Attack? Only from you, Super Robot Fighting League. But I probably don't travel in the relevant circles. Oh no, feel better soon. Yeah, I just feel dizzy suddenly. I don't know what it is. Ad pay is also on a niche basis. So something about politics will have a lower pay than something like financial. That's interesting. I think there's a timing dimension to that, because I think in the midst of an election, I wonder if maybe it would go up versus normal, versus something else I don't know. But yeah, like during election campaigns, a lot of campaign ads do run on YouTube, even for mayoral elections. So I wonder about that. But also you got to think of like what kind of targeted ads are they buying? Right? They might be buying, they're definitely buying probably based on geography, but they might be trying to buy based on other things as well. So they may or may not want it to be on politics. They might want to reach somebody who doesn't care about politics and try to draw in new voters. So that's an interesting thought there. But yeah, my little opportunistic slice of my mind is always like, you know what? I think that if I could figure out all the battleground states in like US elections and then create content that is somehow targeted towards them shortly before the election, I'm like, would my CPMs go up, I wonder? Or my fill rate at least would go up, I wonder? I don't care about that kind of stuff, but I'm fascinated by it. It's interesting to me. And so I want to play with it. And then I can come back and tell you guys what I learned. That's what I'd like to do. Let's see. I'm actually enjoying this dinner and Ray. Okay, cool. Thank you. Bon appetit, my friend. It's not cheesesteak, I imagine. Can't wait to get back to cheesesteak, huh? I had the cheesesteak at Lucy's Diner. It was all right, but it wasn't the same. Achilles and I sometimes go for cheesesteak, and we strategize over YouTube. Or just moan and complain about YouTube as well. There's a lot of that. Also, people using ad blockers harm your chance of earning. Yeah, that's true. And I'm curious, are ad blockers actually against YouTube terms of service? I would like to think they are. That's an assumption. I haven't bothered to look it up. It upsets me when people share videos in the group about how to enable ad block. Yeah. I mean, I can, like, yeah, some, like, pop-up ads on websites are super irritating, especially when they, like, block functionality and stuff, and so I get that. So, like, it can be overdone. But at the same time, I mean, we are content creators, so, like, let's let them have their due. And that is largely through ads, whether it's on a website for written work or ads on YouTube. And, I mean, you know, if you hate the ads... and you're in the first world and can afford it, you know, YouTube Premium, for example, I had it for a while and it was nice and I miss it and I might get it back. I don't know. It's actually how I got my second home mini, was because I had it for like a year. And so they rewarded me by giving me a home mini. But I already had one, but mine was the older model. So I've got the newer model out here. The newer model, is a little louder. And I guess a little faster, but it requires rebooting every now and then, where the old one never did. So like I'll just be like, hey, you know, the search engine, I don't want to activate it, and like I'm shouting it and it just doesn't respond. It's been pretty good lately though. Maybe there was a firmware update. This is a little off topic, but actually I want to tell you something. Don't install Windows 10 update version 2004. It killed my audio. And I had to roll back from it. And that's why I was so late broadcasting last night, is that was an issue. So, there's that. Not what you come for. Hey, Toby! Hey, man, how you doing? It's been ages since you've been in the live stream. I see you on Twitter and Instagram and stuff all the time. But, Toby's here. I like Toby. Toby's a good guy. That's cool. Getting the band back together. I like it. Review Bible Breakout. Okay, I'm feeling a little better. I will try. A please would not have gone unappreciated. But okay, I've been ordered to review this channel. I'm a fan of manners. Let's see here. Okay. So, it's a picture of your face in black and white. Very nice picture. Doesn't tell me what you're about. Bible insights from a seminary dropout. That's cool. That is straight and to the point. I like it. I just like it. It's straight there. You could add to it potentially for SEO and enticement reasons, but that is a strong opening. I know exactly what that's going to be about. Due to my own personal interests, I don't think it's a channel I personally would be interested in watching, but you are super effective here in describing what you were about. Plus points to House Breakout for that one. 429 subscribers and 15 videos. And also, there's going to be, I think, a lot of communities out there that will be really happy to support something like this. So I'd like to think that it probably won't be too difficult to find them. They're going to be everywhere. There's probably some subreddits, definitely going to be some Facebook groups, your local church Facebook group and things like that. You know, you might even be able to, with permission, possibly post it on like a cork board or something at the local church community center or something like that. I think that is some ways to find an audience for stuff like this potentially. So I think that I think content like this can find groups and communities that will support it and support it strongly. A friend of mine, Warren Dean Flandes, who you can check out on Spotify, by the way, he made a transition from pop music to gospel, and just the gospel community has been so supportive and positive and embracing for him that's we should all be so lucky to have such a welcoming community. Bible Breakout, be free indeed. That's kind of cool. Not seeing any social media links here. So again, I do recommend, and I've harped on this a lot, so I'll just lightly touch on it this time, but I do recommend signing up for other social media platforms and linking them here for no other reason than to future protect your brand. You don't want somebody who maybe runs contrary to your beliefs using your name and your brand when you've done work to get attention to it to counteract your message. I would imagine that's something you wouldn't want. And so since it is, I think, a very supportive community, and I'm speaking of a community that I'm not necessarily a part of, but I have a lot of friends who are active in communities like this, and I've seen nothing but love and support, you should be able to, I think it would be particularly for a channel like this and in that kind of a community, to have the related or recommended channels box activated here. You click Customize Channel, and then you can turn it on, and recommend other channels that are somewhat similar or channels you look up to. I think that would be a very good thing to do. Okay, I said I wouldn't be interested in these videos, but American Christianity Sucks. I kind of want to watch that video. And hey, Stupid Robot Fighting League, there's a beard. I don't get beard people. So anyways, that's interesting. I would say that your thumbnail game is pretty strong. Your face appears a lot. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that the one flaw in the thumbnails is that it doesn't, through iconography or images, make it clear what you're speaking about. And so that's something to think about. But like, the font is easy to read, high contrast, bright colors, intriguing titles in some cases. So I think you've got, tips to win any debate. That's interesting to anyone. Who have you become? That's interesting. Like, these are interesting subjects that could cross, religious boundaries, which, I mean, assuming that you are wanting to spread the gospel, potentially literally, that's not necessarily a bad thing for you to reach your particular goals. So again, click Customize Channel and add your popular videos. And let's see, do we have playlists here? We do. 15 Minutes of Faith. That's kind of like maybe almost like a micro podcast. Andrew Matthews, who I mentioned earlier, who I am a huge fan of. I first read I read Being Happy in like 90 or 93 or something when I was like a teenager. Changed my life. Made me a happier person. I owe this man decades of happiness. That's why I keep mentioning it. Partly because of that, but partly because I think that, hey, if I can increase other people's happiness, that's great. So, I mean, I just can't recommend this stuff enough. It's funny. It's engaging. It's got cartoons. It's hilarious and will blow your mind in a very positive way. Where was I going with that? Right, Andrew Matthews. So Andrew Matthews, for a while there, had a podcast that was short little 15-minute things. And so one thing that I found was kind of cool is I would listen to that while doing like a little workout at home. And so that can be pretty cool. So one thing, if you're looking for areas to potentially branch out into, if you do have little 15 Minutes of Faith videos, would that work as an audio podcast? And you might want to consider doing that. Now, for a podcast, your barriers to entry are a little bit more than other things. You're going to want to go with a professional podcast hosting service, which will run you something in the neighborhood of about $110 American per year. And so there are free options, but those free options have a lot of issues around them. And sort of in the podcasting community, they're generally not looked upon as great. And certain services like Spotify will often not list you if you're using something like that. So I'm with Podbean. They work well for me. I know Pat Contra uses them, which is why I do. I don't have an affiliate link or anything, although that'd be cool. Feel free to sponsor me, anybody. I will probably take your money if your product is any good. If your product is trash, I will send you away. But like that's what I use, and that helped me get listed on Spotify at a time when getting into Spotify was incredibly difficult. And so my Vacation Impossible podcast is pretty much on everything except iHeartRadio, because iHeartRadio has a bit of a pay to play scheme in place, which I'm not willing to do. So that's something that like that might translate well, and then you could link the podcast in your links here on your channel. On Vacation Impossible, we link to our podcast on Apple Podcasts specifically, but it's on wherever fine podcasts can be found. So feel free to check out the Vacation Impossible podcast. The most recent episode was from like early February, where I was talking about the earthquake that I was in, and so I think that we cover some interesting topics there. If you want to hear some from before the days of the malady that shall not be named. So that's 9, which is good. The other ones here are a little too short, but for the one that you have, and I think this is really especially for people of this particular faith, I think this playlist title is enticing. So I would recommend adding that playlist as well on your homepage, and I would put it underneath your uploads, and then under that put your popular videos. I think that would be a good layout. Again, recommending other channels, sort of being a good community member that way. I think it says good things, and I think that it's probably a very Christian thing to do. To give of oneself in such a way. Although, again, I am talking out my rear. What a pivot, huh? So anyways, I think that's pretty good. Let's bring up Channelytics, because there was something a little interesting here. This is just going to be a lot of ignorance on my part, but it's interesting that you use the word Jewish as a tag. That's counterintuitive to me, but what do I know? And so this is pretty good. A lot of one-word terms here. I would recommend multiple terms. I think, for example, the name of that playlist, that was it 15 Minutes of Faith, I think that would make a great channel tag. That has the potential to become like a real popular running thing, a program. There could be a podcast as well, a show. Again, YouTube emulates television. That's why what we have is called channels. They're not profiles or pages. They're channels. And channels can have some, like, within a channel, there can be different shows. Yes, the golf channel is going to be all about golf, but you're going to have, like, live plays. You're going to have, like, maybe shows about the best moments in golf history. You're going to have, I don't know, tips and tricks, a bunch of different things. So within a very specific niche, you can still kind of have sort of things. Like in my travel channel, I have my travel pro tip videos, which are generally really, really short, that just tell you like 1 to 3 really specific things and get you in and out. They don't get a lot of views because they don't get a lot of watch time, but it does drive some search traffic. And when I want to help people, those videos, I share them strategically in groups when people have questions and they find it very useful. Gets me a lot of goodwill, and so you can have different sort of shows on your channel, as long as you stay within as narrow a niche as you can, if you want that algorithm help. So you had a big day on May 18th. Look at that, 9,000 views, where generally you're hovering between 700 and 3,000. This channel is humming for views. You're doing well there. It's surprising to me that you're not having a higher conversion into subscribers. So hopefully on all of your videos you have end screens, which would have a subscribe button people can click. Hopefully you've activated your watermark, which can have a button that people can click. And hopefully you're including some sort of a call to action in the video. If you do those 3 things, if you were not previously, you will see an increase in subscriber. That's as close to a guarantee as you'll get to me, but I'm not going to guarantee it. But I think that those 3 things alone, and again, TubeBuddy, when the browser plugin is installed, it's going to remind you to do things like end screens. And so that will help, because there is so much to remember with YouTube. I say there's like 100 things you can do to get micro boosts in the algorithm. And for some of us, you got to do them all to have a real shot. And TubeBuddy really, really helps with that. So May 18th, big day, 9,000 views. Everybody in chat would probably love to have a day with 9,000 views. I know I would. Same day, 51 subscribers in a day. That is impressive. It's interesting. We both kind of experienced a slight spike on the 28th. I don't know what that's all about. It was like a weekend or something. Is that Saturday? I don't know. No, that's Thursday. I don't know what caused that. I think it was my first video in a while. I don't know. Anyways, May 18th was a huge day for you. That's incredibly important. And so it's probably this video from the 17th that was driving it. Unlike these other videos, that video I think resonated. I bet you got a lot of views on that video. Think about that video. Think about your approach. What did the thumbnail look like? What was the title? What was the subject? How long was the video? How did you keep your viewers engaged, and how did you ask for subscribers? That is your formula for success for now. At this stage in your evolution, if you can identify the things that you did on that day and do more of them, do them better, or just more of the same, that I think is going to be your path to great forward motion and growth on this channel. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think you've got a community out there that's ready to support you. Again, I think this beginning of your description is great. I think that you could also, in a second paragraph, you can flush it out some more. And so I think that that would be helpful from an SEO standpoint. And again, I imagine, because we're talking of matters of faith, I imagine you have an incredibly strong why. And if you don't have a video about being a dropout, I recommend that you I recommend that you make a video about that, your personal story. I think I imagine you well know it is through stories that we learn and that we encounter new ideas, and we see things from a different perspective. And so having a story to tell that is your own is particularly compelling, and it's particularly effective when you tie it into a why. Because of my experience, I believe this, and it's driven me to do that. A story like that is something that people will want to go on the journey with you and support you and spread your message. So that is somewhat universal, but I think that is worth mentioning. So there we go there. Getting back to chat. How am I doing? Have I made my 2 hours yet? 20 minutes to go. All right. Hey, sorry, I'm late. We had to work on Rapunzel. Oh, Ace of Vegas. That's cool. Story time's important. You can always rewatch these as you like, but you're a busy guy too, and I appreciate it. Glad to have you here. It was a lot of fun being on your podcast today. So I do like doing that. That's always a good time. Henry has a message retracted. I wonder if he was upset with me. I would not blame him. Operation Life had failed to upload issues on YouTube. Thought he posted 8 in one day when he only had 1. Yes, that's right. I remember that. That was weird. What videos were they? I'm so far behind in chat, I'm not sure exactly what it's referring to. No Dragon Please is here. Hello. Please, were you asking me that? Ray about his channel or Piggly? On my channel recently, I've been releasing some cruising videos, and those always do well for me. So that's what I've been doing lately. But I'm going to pivot back to Vegas. My channel's probably going to take a hit for that, but I need to clear my content backlog because otherwise I will very soon have no content. I was contacted by a cruise ship employee who wants to be on my podcast, so I can go to that when I run out of new content, and I'm hoping that maybe I'll be traveling again by then, but only if it's safe. I'm only going to do it if it's safe. Which of your videos would you most like to succeed? I love that question. Wow, that's a good question. Damn. Good coaches are all about asking good questions. And that is a great coaching question. I love that. Which of your videos would you most like to succeed? And then, of course, I would like to tag on why. Wow. I think for small YouTubers boost, I would want one of my TubeBuddy tutorials to take off. And the reason is just because, honestly, I could talk until I'm blue in the face trying to help you with your channel. You could pay me for 3 hours of consultation, and it will never be as beneficial as just downloading the browser plugin for free. So whichever one of these really shows people its value, Channelytics, not really. Video, maybe the Videolytics video, because that I think shows something that's super powerful. Keyword Explorer is really good because it also teaches about SEO. Best Practices isn't bad either because it's a real easy way to understand the value. So I'm thinking Videolytics, probably, because I think that's super powerful. And also the thing about that is that everybody, well, not everybody, but like 80% of people who've heard of TubeBuddy, they're like, oh, it just helps suggesting tags for my videos, and tags aren't important. And I'm like, oh my God, no, even the free version is over 30 tools, and you're focusing on one of them. Yes, that one is actually awesome, but you're focusing on the wrong thing. So I think on this channel, I would really like that because I think that would have the most impact on people. And actually, you know what? After that, I think maybe one of my SEO videos or my motivation video. I'd like to think that I think, and I don't want to sound overconfident here, but I really think this video says things that some YouTubers really need to hear. That can, I think, prevent a lot of stress in their future or in their now. And so that, I think, is an important video for this channel. So that's that. What would I really... On Vacation Impossible, though, that's an interesting question. What would I want to most succeed? I think it's... I mean, I'd love it if my channel trailer took off and then people could just know what I'm all about. That'd be cool. That's about my ego, though. That's not really providing value for people. You know what I want? If it wasn't for a certain malady that will go unnamed, I would be pushing a specific video probably to share my love of cruises, or maybe talking... I have a video where I talk about fear of travel and why it's important to overcome it. Something like that that'd be inspirational. But right now, for the situation we find ourselves in right now, and particularly in North America, I want everyone to watch this video. Geographically confused about the center of the nation. You know why? It's funny. People need to laugh right now. So if I wanted a video of mine to blow up right now at this moment in time that we're all living in, and hey, I'm wearing the shirt that I'm in that thumbnail wearing. That's interesting. That video, I'm so proud of it. It is like, it's sketch comedy. It's unscripted and improvised, but we obviously kind of had an idea going into it. It was kind of my idea, so it's sort of like my sort of stepchild that way or whatever, my baby that I made. And so yeah, if there was a video on Vacation Impossible that I want to take off, it would be Geographically Confused about the center of the nation. Because I think it's very funny, and I think it's just the kind of laugh that people really could benefit from right now. Okay, my chat scrolled without my permission. Let me just get back to where I was. Hashtag know your why. Yes, I should tweet that. I should just tweet that without context. No, maybe I'll tie it to a video and share that later. Let's see. Posted your collaboration list to the group. Should be tagged in a song. Make me go outside of Messenger. Which of your videos would you most... Okay, yeah. Which of your videos would you most like to succeed? So, ideally, probably the TubeBuddy video for Videolytics on Small YouTubers Boost, and Geographically Confused about the center of the nation on Vacation Impossible. One, because it will help people find a free tool that can change their lives for the better, and the other one because I think people will find it funny and have a much-needed laugh and a break from the reality that we're living in right now. For me, it's how to convert a Word document to a PDF 2 ways. Cool. It's something that I've known how to do for quite a while, and it is very useful. Interesting that you get ads when you ask about that. But then you've got it. Look at that. Melanie TestTube is our SEO expert. She definitely knows SEO better than I do. We have some moderators that know some things very well. Sasha knows mobile apps, I think, very well. And I think that Melanie knows SEO. She also knows Canva and Grammarly very well. I think, what is it? Maria, one of our new moderators, knows like dog stuff very well. And Elizio knows business very well. Had a quick call with him, little kind of a business coaching call. And I have spoken to professional coaches that were not nearly as effective as he was. I mean, admittedly, it wasn't really a coaching call because the coach approach is about asking questions to get people to come to their own conclusions. He just verbally slapped me around a little in exactly the way I needed at exactly the right time. And he had like data and facts, and like he showed me things that really opened my eyes. So it's kind of cool that we have like some moderators that are like experts in particular areas. I'm kind of excited about that. I like to think that somewhere down the road in some future state, we can really kind of capitalize on that in a way that's beneficial on both sides. That people can go to Melanie for SEO or Canva or something, or she can be our expert in those things, and then maybe she can share, affiliate links for Canva or whatever. And so it's beneficial on both sides. I think that would be really great. And Alizio with business stuff and on and on. And so I think that's really exciting. Not every moderator necessarily would want to be a part of that. I haven't really approached any of them with that, really. I mentioned it a little bit to Alizio and hinted at it to Melanie, but I see that as, I think that would be a cool place to get to. And because then we could be like that, it would be kind of like a cool team. I think. And we can identify the various strengths, and then we could pool the resources appropriately. And I think we could make some real special stuff and really help some people there. And again, my big why and value is I want YouTube to be more fair. And so when we get these resources out there and we empower people, whether it's a matter of building their confidence or sharing tools that they could use or providing absolutely harsh feedback, whatever it is that gets them there, that they can compete with like the frickin' Logan brothers. And maybe we can, if we have a bit more of a variety at the buffet, we can choose some healthier options for ourselves. Getting a little preachy. In this guide, I show you how to convert a Word document to a PDF for free. There are 2 ways to achieve this. And you see she's captioned it. And that's fantastic. She did a premiere. I haven't done premieres. This is a relatively new video. You know what? I don't normally do this, but I'm going to take it on faith and give that a thumbs up. If this was helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, which we discussed briefly. For more advice on converting, check out this guide. I know you didn't ask me to do this, but I'm just taking a look here. This is all really good. I would suggest, my thinking is that instead of hashtag technology, I think hashtag PDF or PDF converter might be a little bit more focused. And I mean, Melanie, you're a great writer, so you could flush this out a bit more for SEO, which I don't need to tell you. But you're rocking it. You're hitting hard on all those and replying to all the comments. Okay, it looked like it ranked for a second and then disappeared, but when I searched it, although I'm not incognito, it came up right away. I don't know if you have an info card on this or not, because TubeBuddy's been a little glitchy there, but if you don't, add one. At least one. And it doesn't look like it's been shared on Twitter? Come on, now. And nothing on Reddit either. I would really strongly recommend sharing it in our subreddit, at least. There's got to be other technology Reddits out there. And sharing it on Twitter. And I think really where this could be useful is there's a lot of message boards out there where people need help with various things. And so there's got to be people asking this kind of question on message boards, Quora, Yahoo Answers, the Microsoft message board. People on that are linking a crap all the damn time when I go looking for answers. So clearly it's allowed. And so those are some thoughts that I would maybe humbly suggest about ways and places you could find an audience for that. Are you asking of me? I put a lot into that one. I ended up writing an article with a similar title and embedding the video in the article. That's cool. And then you could take maybe the whole article, maybe not, because you might have written it for a particular purpose that has some copyrights around it or something. But you could put a lot of the article or snippets of or summarizing in the description to bulk that up a little bit. Respect for doing the captions, though, by the way. Full game of League to break 1K instantly, but that's okay. I'm working on double duty where I SEO the video itself as well as the article doing well. And I think that's really cool, that strategy of that dual attack and then just owning the search term, because then you'll own it probably more so also in other places. Like, and admittedly, who's searching this whole thing? Like, I'll drop out the 2 ways thing because that's kind of like super specific. It's almost baiting. And let's look here on Google. It's not coming up as a video result, which is a shame. It'd be nice if we could get it there. How to Geek, WikiHow. Adobe's an interesting place for that. Students at Carleton University, thesis requirements. So universities, yeah, students are probably asking this question a lot. That makes sense. I'm not incognito here, so that's something to keep in mind. This is going to look silly, but let's check Bing. It's interesting. Someone told me that Bing actually, because of Expedia and other things, does really well in travel, partly why you might see backgrounds like this, and that that Google kind of ceded that territory to Bing for a period, which may or may not still be true. I don't know about that, but it's an interesting thought. But if people aren't using it, then what does any of it matter? Videos. Yeah, it's interesting. Not really coming up here. Interesting stuff. Interesting how DuckDuckGo doesn't show you the channel names. Anyways, just something interesting. Let's take a look here. That's a great question. I think it's the one I'm editing now. What's it about? Beards is sexy, right? Don't minimize the power of beard appeal. Yeah, okay. I try to stay away from the negative self-talk, and it's just, what was it in The Matrix? They were like, why do I look this way? And they're like, oh, it's your residual self-image. My residual self-image is goatee. Like, just bottom half. That's how I always view myself. I've had it since I was in high school. Ironically, I got it because I looked super young and I was applying for jobs and I wanted to be taken more seriously. So I grew out the goatee for that. And boy, it worked. I got a job in an amusement park in the guest services department because I was articulate and I looked like I was older than I was. And they liked older, more experienced people. And articulate people as well. And so my goatee helped me get that job. They were like years later, as I befriended the management and became management myself, and I talked to them about it, they did mention that, and so it was kind of interesting. And then it just became part of my personality and who I was for the longest time. And I think I have a bit of a butt chin, so I hide that because I got the butt crack going down the chin. I'm sure that's what you all came here to hear about. I don't have any dedicated subscribers. You know, the thing about that is that they're not always vocal, the true fans. Sometimes they're lurkers. You might have them and not know it. I took Ray's advice and the advice of Long Way Back Home. I talk about my mental disabilities a bit and how my Lego builds help me with them. That's fantastic. That's great. You know, you could end up helping tons of people with that. Or you could end up helping a small number of people, but so incredibly deeply and fundamentally. That's absolutely amazing, I think. I'm really glad that you did that. I really hope that finds a good audience. Asking TestTube, how do you reach your subscribers? Yeah, let's let her answer that. Let's see. Oh, I'm scrolling without my permission again. How am I doing for time? Yeah, okay. 5 minutes. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Trying to find where chat decided I didn't get to. Holy jeez, weird things. I'm just seeing things as I'm scrolling through chat. Like Anton Yelchin. Okay, I don't know. I lost a big chunk of chat, but I'm at where we're talking about. I bet Ewoks would smell like a dirty hamster cage. Hard agree. Yes, I do agree. They tried to eat Han. Yes, people forget that. The little teddy bears were going to eat people. Please sub me. Ray is broke. Oh, that's probably when I was having my welcome to my channel. I'm a YouTuber. I make entertaining videos and content thing. Yeah, that was my breakdown. I think it was cathartic getting it out there. So now I'm probably good for another several months of seeing it and not losing my crap on people. So thank you for being patient with me through that little wobbler. Not my proudest moment. I use the word content all the time, but you're right. Our audience shouldn't know that word. Content is like a B2B word. When we're talking behind the scenes, business to business, when we're doing a collaboration, using content is fine, but the average viewer, that's the people I think we should protect because it's a jargon term and so often a meaningless term. We use it as a catch-all to describe all the things that we create, and that's great if you're being interviewed about being a creator because then you can encapsulate all of it without rattling off a list of YouTube videos and articles and podcasts and Instagram and pictures and blah, blah, and Patreon and blah, blah. You can say content and can capture all of that. That's fine. But when it's your audience, you might want to make the list because then they'll, oh, you got a podcast? I had no idea. I need to get better at that. I have a podcast. It's the Vacation Impossible podcast. I may have mentioned it a time or two. Let's see here. Oh God, I say content way too often. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like an industry behind the scenes term. It's like an acronym. Think of it as an acronym that the public doesn't generally know. You know, are you going to say ASA or are you going to say aspirin? Should we say stuff? Because I was trained out of that. I should avoid that. Someone on my channel says all that sort of stuff all the time, and when I'm editing them, I just want to go back in time and stab them in the throat. Gonna have to mark this video as violent, but I think it's a bad word too because it's not very descriptive. Proud sellout here. That can be okay. Own it. If it's authentic and true and honest, is it selling out? I'll do that, Ray. I will. Cool. Seems positive. Wario said something and retracted it, so I don't know what it was. I like Wario Craft, active on Instagram and comes into these live streams every now and then, but has been doing for years, and so I like seeing that logo pop up every now and then. It's nice. If you enjoyed hearing me rant and play with toys, subscribe to support my new expensive addiction. And the thing is, you can do variants of that. I like that. My new expensive addiction. And then over time, drop the word new. There was a time, I think in the 80s, where Ralph Nader actually launched a consumer protection type lawsuit over, in the United States, the use of the word new. And so for a period of time, there actually was legislation that came out of that where you could only use the word new for 6 months. And then after that, you could no longer market a product as new. I think that it has since been struck down, but I think it's a really good metric. It makes good sense to me. So I don't like saying new if it's older than 6 months. I might say newer, if I'm comparing it to something that's less new. Deleted my description. The banner doesn't tell you anything. Tears of laughter, hopefully for the most part. The banner looks fantastic. No story, though. And you know what? That's how I should have said it. Thank you, Stupid Robot Fighting League. The banner looks fantastic. No story, though. That's the polite, patient way I should have said it. I think Ray should review my channel. What do you think? We've closed reviews for today because I am tired. I'm going to go straight from this to bed and watch YouTube. I'm going to watch this Mario video I discovered, and then I'll probably watch the news, and it'll be a little scary and depressing, but I feel like I need to stay on top of things in case this toxicity crosses the border. I need to be aware of it. I saw so many horrible things. Very lovely, except you look like my ex-husband, and that triggers me. Henry does, or I do? I'm guessing it's Henry. Yeah, I don't know what Henry does, but that Mario thing is cool as stuff. That's what I'm saying. I want to check that out. That looks amazing. I'm not gaming anymore, though. I need to update that. Oh, man, the thing I liked is not where you're going. Better enjoy it while it's there. I'm in Facebook jail. Yeah, I'm hardcore. What kind of Facebook jail? Hopefully not like our group jail, but like Facebook generally. I mean, I don't know. That's worse for you, but it means that we didn't screw up. Have him review that one video. Just imagine how well your channel will do after you fix some of these things. And thank you, Brick World Therapy, for keeping it positive. I'm hoping so. It was me. I am the mod. Mob. I'm the mob. Same thing. I like it a lot more. What one video? The video that shall not be named. Oh, for the love of God, please no. Let's leave that stress in the past. Got enough stress. The mod's organized enough to be the mob. That's cute. I did, I think, just invite you into that Facebook group. You're not in the group chat, and oh my god, no. Also, I know that I'm like nearly 300 messages behind in the mod group chat right now, and I am terrified of getting into that. I put it off. When I check messages, that's the last messages I check, because it's so big and scary. That's why I've created the group. Anyways, enough about my behind the scenes complaining about how I make cheese. Dies while touching a turtle. Must have been a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That guy on Star Trek. McCoy? He looks a little bit like McCoy. Maybe a little bit like the new Chekhov. Oh, that's probably where the Anton Yelchin reference is coming soon. Oh yeah, there it is. Sounds interesting. Which guy? I'm intrigued. Sadly, the one that died because his own car rolled him over. Which is just so upsetting. Got to check that out immediately. Looks pretty cool, really. That guy on Star Trek, red shirt. Well, funny you should mention it, particularly in the last movie. He's like, put on a red shirt, and then the look in Chekhov's eyes. I was devastated when he died. Yeah, that was really upsetting. And I mean, and so shortly after having lost Nimoy to COPD and stuff, that was just rough. And so going through those credits, our friend Yelchin, I think, was what they put at the end. Man, that was emotional. He was a yellow shirt. Yeah, except in part of the last movie. got to drop off. Checking you out, Henry. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for coming around Vegas. You're probably not here to hear me say it, but thanks anyways. Yellow shirt, so unexpected. He died in real life, though. Yeah, so I was talking about yellow shirt. Disqualified. Love it. It's really sad. Yeah. He was a good actor. He was. I mean, I hated Terminator Salvation, but he did a good job in it. And Chekhov is awesome. He was. It's all over the place. Bad. Painful way to pass. Vacation Impossible. Must see. That's one of those posts. That's the description that I hate. Hey, and at least if I did that, it would include the word vacation, so I'd actually not be breaking my own rules, really. Just Googled it, saw the cause of death. So sad. Yeah. Like, just, so unnecessary. I mean, not that there's necessary ones, but still particularly upsetting. It's like a different Ray. Maybe actors should just stay away from cars. Paul Walker and Chekhov. That's, you need to do a Chekhov video. See the tie-in with the dad video. A lot of game. I mean, and it did feel like there was a lot of trend jumping there, and I'm not fond of when people are trying to just ride other coattails and stuff. I prefer when people are their own thing, because then at least I know what to expect from them from week to week. Otherwise, they change with the wind kind of thing. And maybe that's just me. Some people find some success chasing trends. I just think, I mean, it's super arrogant, especially for someone as small as me to say, but I would rather be the trendsetter than the trend chaser. And I don't think you're going to be setting anything by chasing. Yeah, I did that because you blew up and I wanted to try a video on something trending. I'll probably take it off. I don't know that you necessarily need to take it off. That might be an extreme reaction. It doesn't fit with the rest of your content. That's fine. You can use, playlists and things to curate your content that way. It's ultimately up to you, of course. I mean, I removed some videos from Vacation Impossible, like my review of we did a review of Rogue One, for example, where we had a very interesting conversation about, the Uncanny Valley and Tarkin and everything, but it just didn't fit on my channel. If you're interested in that, though, it is on the podcast, the audio podcast still, so you could listen to it on your podcast platform of choice. Sugar Cat's here again. It's actually required in the group for members to view and comment on all my videos. You say these funny things and then you wait a little while for the JK and people lose their minds sometimes. Thankfully, there's not a lot of people in this chat, in this group, so you're probably okay. But playing with fire. Bad internet. I like Indian Buffet. I recently discovered a good one near my day job. Right before the world shut down. My internet is black. Or blech? How do you say that? Bleach? No. Oh, I still have laundry to do. The fun never stops. Here at Small YouTubers Boost. Getting notification from your husband's phone is fine. It means that when he tells you, you can stare at his beard moving. Beard is a very magical thing. Baby back, baby back. Not that fond of that character. My beard blows in the wind, making me feel like a leaf in the... Too soon! Oh, this leaf on the wind. Still, too soon. R.I.P. Wash. This is dark. We're talking about like dead characters and actors now. What happened? What happened in chat playlist? Having a ginger beard is like putting a cheat code in a video game. I like that. Leaf on the wind. And geez, you are my husband. If my beard was 10 times the size of your ginger beard would still trump mine. It's not fair, but it's life. Just remember the gingers go white, not gray. So looking like a Viking Santa. Interesting. I'm all out of ideas. Check my motivation video. I'll lecture to you more about why. Maybe it'll prompt something. Or you can play around Keyword Explorer. Type in words that you've done before and see what suggestions come out for new things. All muscles instead of being fluffy. I'm a little too fluffy right now. I've definitely put on like a good 10 pounds during this lockdown, so I need to work on that. Don't hate you, no regrets. No videos from me anytime soon. Symptoms of the virus that shall not be named. I really hope you don't have it, and I hope you get better soon, whatever it is. John was happy with the white spot. I have earphones. Fast for 24 hours, kill the virus. I don't think that's a thing. You my boy. I have no phones. Woohoo. That food looks good. Food was gone. Vegas. Where? Ray says, okay that, and it says, I'm sorry. Oh. Gonna be obnoxious.
The mic's off.
I'm turning my mic off. Okay, Google, play the Vacation Impossible podcast. Oh, I'm evil. I couldn't resist. Oh my God, it's playing it in my bedroom on my other mini. I did that one to myself. Okay. Always, boss chat is always behind. Yes, that is true. I know through cap hole way too many times. Truck driving, chat is behind. Yeah. That's me. It's not a lag. I get so close to my review. Go Ray, go Ray, go Ray. Artichoke dip. Reheat's fine. Good to know. You know what I really discovered recently, and it was such a nice surprise, is that the pasta from Olive Garden, when you get it in the take-home thing, like where you're supposed to reheat it the next day, that tastes amazing. Nothing that comes out of the microwave should taste like that. I mean, you can only have it for like a few days. It's got like 3 to 5 days shelf life or something after you get it, but I don't care. It's absolutely freaking amazing. And because we took some to go, and then we also got some that you can make sort of the next day in the microwave. And by the time we got home, the stuff that had been just freshly made wasn't that great because it cooled down too much. But the next day when I made the other stuff, it was like amazing. I would go buy a stack of those. And I kid you not, I currently have like 4 bottles of the Olive Garden salad dressing, but I have no salad. It's like the what is it? It's like that Twilight Zone where the guy has all the time in the world in his library to read, and then he breaks his reading glasses. Or that Harlan Ellison story. Please don't sue me, Harlan Ellison's estate. What is it? I have no mouth, but I'm a scream or something. The thing they turned into a PC video game back in the day, where they have tons of preserves, I think, and they're all in cans, and he has no can opener, something like that. I haven't actually seen it, but I read the Wikipedia article, and that was disturbing enough. Harlan Ellison's a weird dude. He wanted to put drug dealers on the Enterprise. Not okay. Sounds good. Good idea. I'll put it on my About page. Awesome. One of our mods, her captions, thinks it's... Yeah. Was it one of the mods? Oh, I mean, it doesn't really change things, but somehow it feels worse. What screen recorder do you use? I am using OBS. I use vanilla OBS. I don't use Streamlabs. I haven't learned Streamlabs. But yeah, no, I use OBS. Test tube retracted a bunch of messages. The shine off Ray's head is distracting. Let's activate my janky ring light. And then maybe shut this off. There you go. I feel like I should be telling ghost stories. But the beard is looking better and better. Okay. Is this filling in? Because I am trimming it. You'll have to wait 30 minutes after you upload, and it will be there. For the captions? That's it? Just wait 30 minutes? That doesn't sound... I think I've gone back like days later, and there still weren't auto captions. But I could be wrong. Also, if you have background music, it might not pick up your speaking. That's true. You want to adjust your volume levels carefully in your editing. Do at least one pass where you basically just stare at the volume bar. That's what I do. They probably have... I am not saying that. I'm messing with your phone. I only said it like... Oh, because when I was controlling my lights, too. Oh, yes, I did say that a few times. I'm sorry. I created on the Small YouTubers Boost Instagram a highlight of me just giving commands to my Google Home Mini to play small YouTubers that I know are on Spotify. And it was so hard to film because it was activating my phone and my multiple Home Minis, and it took me so many takes. And honestly, it's kind of a prank because I want it to activate other people's, and then they'll end up supporting small YouTubers because I'm sneaky. And I may have thrown my own podcast in there at some point. But not the first one. Not the first one. Max Hickson was the first one. I'm a huge fan of his. I like his music. It's calm, it's relaxing, it's upbeat, it's positive. I like to listen to it on road trips and while playing video games. Messing with your phone. It's funny. Because of the beard. Your whatever is messing with my stuff. Only once was it intentional. That's before I read those messages. Someone told me it's because spammers. Oh, it causes spammers. Psh, I don't buy that. That's like saying, what is it? Wet sidewalks cause rain. I've slightly so many election ads that it's saturated. Yeah. A woman of impeccable taste. I don't disagree. I refuse to allow that woman in my home. Creepy stalker, Alexa. Well, that's funny because I never wanted this. And, it's actually a really funny story. So Christmas was coming, a year and a half ago. And I had heard that some family friends had gotten me something very nice for Christmas that they put a lot of effort into and that it wasn't cheap and all this stuff. And I was very touched, and I was concerned about like the whole Cold War of gift, race to the moon, whatever. And so I was like, I hope what I get them was sufficiently, good that I don't look like a total prick in comparison. And so then I open it, and it's a home mini. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. I don't understand why they thought this would be particularly good for me or why this was so special. But I tried to show appreciation and I tried to use it and, connected it to my Spotify. So when I'm playing board games, I can issue verbal commands to play music, and that was cool. I like that. And then when my family ran into some medical problems that had some mobility implications, that's when I got the smart lights. And I also hooked up a fan and our TV to it. Our TV was having this problem where sometimes it wouldn't turn off and you had to pull the power plug. So I got a smart adapter for that power plug, and then another one for our fan, and then I got 2 smart lights, one for the living room, one for the bedroom. So I kind of made the home a bit of a smart home because of these mobility issues with health. And then after all of that, they were like, oh, it's really surprising that he went all in and he got all those things for it. And I was like, yeah, well, it was kind of like that. And then they told me the story of where it came from. They got 2 at a company Christmas party, and they gave me the extra. All this thought. It was special for me. It was a re-gift. Now, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it, and it was very nice. And they are lovely people. One time, I love bubble lights on my Christmas tree, and they're not allowed in Canada anymore because they're incandescent, and Canada doesn't allow that anymore because it's not very green. And so they smuggled me some strings of bubble lights from Florida. I'm on the west coast of Canada, and so they're very lovely people. And so now I'm worried that they watch this, but no, it was very nice. And so it ended up being actually incredibly helpful, and we have integrated it in surprising ways. I just want to be able to call it computer like I'm on the Enterprise, for the love of God. I just want to say computer lights. Not, hey, brand name of search engine, please turn on the lights. Just computer lights, or just lights. No, that would be problematic, because if I'm talking about a certain musical artist or some other things, it would just turn on. But yeah, anyways. Looks like a husband and wife are having a conversation in chat, although they're probably sitting next to each other in reality. Autocorrect keeps saying Alex. Siri upgraded her voice, I don't know. There was a video going around where a woman was talking to a scammer and she mimicked Alexa's voice and messed with them. Huh, that's funny. Creepy. I don't know. Would you like me to search? Yeah, I don't like that. Fix my social media links, put more context on the front page, tweaked my cover photo. Cool. I keep all those AIs off. I'm paranoid. I was until I got the home mini, but then it was a gift, and I'm like, well, it's time to, join the new decade, I guess. Join the 2020s, even though it's 2019 at the time. That's not a beard. More beards. What's his name again? After serving in the U.S. military, you and I have every right to be paranoid. Well, you'd probably know better than most what's out there. Particularly if you were in, like, SIGINT or something. Update the banner. Canva can help you with that. I feel like you have great usage of playlists, but you don't listen. Crap, now I'm sleeping on the couch. Ray's on and it's important. I sponsored an episode of Ray's podcast. He did. And if you would like to sponsor the Vacation Impossible podcast, let us know. I've got to go. Thank you so much for the advice, Ray. I'll be implementing the changes. Thanks, everyone. Have an amazing day. Thank you, Henry Does, for being awesome and such a great sport about all of my trash talking. If the product is trash, I'll still take the money. I'm easily bought. No, for me, it has to be equivalent to a Tesla. If you want my integrity, it is the price of a Tesla. $66,000 in Canadian dollars, so I can get it with autopilot. That is the price of me. For at least that, in terms of endorsing a product I don't believe in. In terms of like really crossing a line, 2.1 mil. I'll cross almost any line for 2.1 mil because that's enough money to live on a cruise ship for the anticipated less remainder of my natural life. That's what my integrity will cost. I teach ancient Jewish culture as well. Okay, so Jewish culture should be in that. It shouldn't just be Jewish. It should be Jewish culture, I think, in that channel keyword to be effective. I love the face when we have 2 peeps here sitting in the same room. Or the facts, not the face. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what you're talking about. Me too. Why I wanted a review. What's a watermark? It's when a video is playing in the bottom right-hand corner, there'll be a semi-transparent icon that'll pop up, and you can click on it to subscribe. It's under the advanced settings branding, I think, is where you can find it in Creator Studio. That's where it was in Classic. I don't know where it is in the new one. Horrible communication for a married couple. We need documented proof that we talk. Now it's in the chat here. The chat will be in the replay, I think. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I don't know. When we aired on ESPN, I found a mother and son fighting on Twitter about watching either The West Wing or Stupid Robot Fighting League. Classic. That's amazing. I love you, John, but I'm Team West Wing. I love Aaron Sorkin so hard. That show is amazing. Whenever I need to write like a big speech, like a wedding speech or something, I will go and binge watch Aaron Sorkin to find my voice so that it sounds better. That's what I do. That's my method. It's great. So I got in touch, and now they have their own stupid robot to fight in the American Championship. They should fight each other. One should be like a West Wing themed. I mean, there could be copyright issues there, but a West Wing themed fighting robot would be amazing. There's that other kind of watermark, which can be, something that you put over your video so people don't steal it. But that wasn't the kind I was referring to earlier in the broadcast. Automated checklist for TubeBuddy is great. Good SEO. Cerebral palsy, I'm sorry to hear that. I have an uncle who has that. I can appreciate those challenges. Way longer channel description. There's a lot you could say. I'll give it a shot. Ray, can you update your avatar to reflect your epic beard? The thing is, the organization that did my avatar for me is kind of no longer a thing, and I don't trust their new iteration. So I could put a picture of me, but unfortunately I don't think I can get that redone. Your people have spoken. Do it now. This is a chat revolt. Comb my beard. My friends loved that video. Don't comb the beard. The snacks will fall out. A chat riot is growing. Awkward. Too soon. He did beard comb. So sexy. Totally does dab. Too much. I'm making dinner. This chat is too much fun. I need to go lay down. I'm so tired, but I don't want to miss this chat. Chewie is not in Star Trek. Oh, the people who try to bait Trekkies with that it's the same thing. That doesn't work. That was one of my videos that was attacked. Oh yeah, that whole thing, that was messed up. I hope everything's okay from that. I'll give you the sarcastic clap emoji from Facebook. I would. There's a sarcastic clap emoji. I'm going to have to watch out for that. I won't rank for a while. I got massively attacked. It's uber competitive, so that article... Oh, that's why it's not ranking. Oh. So much good info, except maybe the butt chin. Maybe TMI. Stay safe. Yeah, I mean, there's probably some videos out there where I have a completely shaved face, but I don't know. Can't be many. I'm not a mod in the group chat yet, but I was checking it out today. Oh, the Facebook group for mods, yeah. So we've got some mods that are only in the subreddit, some that are only in the YouTube chat, and then there's the ones that are in the Facebook group. And there is some Venn diagram. Achilles is in both the Reddit and the YouTube channel, and obviously Melanie is in both the group and the YouTube channel. I think I modded all of the moderators from the Facebook group are also moderators on this channel. I think I did do that, although I might not have done it for the 3 new ones. I'm not sure if I went through and added them or not. Anyways, it looks like I'm actually caught up on chat, which is exciting. Which bulb light smugglers, they should put that on a card. Yeah, that was very sweet of them. Salad is just a carrier for dressing. Damn right. Hard agree. You troll, darn Google. Okay. Well, this has been fun, but I want to go watch that Mario video and then I suppose watch the world burn because that's what it's doing, and that's kind of rough. So I definitely need to wrap things up. I'm getting messages to that effect. So quickly, I'm going to have a completely selfish challenge for you today. As I am Vacation Impossible, I always try to leave you with something that I would like you to do at the end of one of these live streams. And today I'm being selfish about it. What do I want you to do? I want you to go watch my video, Geographically Confused About the Center of the Nation. It's funny, it's educational, it's 3 minutes that I hope you'll enjoy. It's just for fun. It's just for mental health. Take a break. Take a step out of hustle life for a minute. Take a step out of watching the world burn and hiding from a virus and all the other things that we're having to deal with this year. Earthquake tried to kill me. I'm still here. So that's your mission if you choose to accept it, is go watch that video. And if that's not to your taste, maybe go check out some other comedy videos out there, some comedy channels. They're probably struggling. College Humor, they've got some great stuff. They got something called Breaking News. Actually, those 2 shows are hilarious. I strongly recommend that stuff. Give yourself some time for yourself and just maybe watch something from before things got crazy. and just take the load off, give yourself a moment of respite in all of this. And thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast. We've got one more live stream coming tomorrow, assuming that the stars align. This was probably one of our later live streams. Tomorrow I'm hoping to do it much earlier because I'm trying to make it so that different people in different time zones have equal opportunity to do this. If I didn't get to your channel for a channel review, apologize. You do have one more chance, at least tomorrow. After that, I don't know when I'll be doing a live stream again. But if you do want a dedicated channel review, you can contact me. It's a paid option and we can work something out. So all of that having been said, thank you so much for watching. This is fun. Thanks for putting up with my rant and, my little therapy session here because I can't afford the real thing. And I hope it was fun and funny and educational for everyone as much as possible. And I look forward to seeing you guys all again, either here in the live streams or perhaps in our Facebook group, on our subreddit, on Twitter, on any of the myriad places that we exist. So thank you so much. And, take care of yourself and take care of each other out there. Thank you so much for watching. This live stream will self-destruct in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, I can count. 1.